good evening, and welcome to what is this, the third show in Black. My name is Pierce or Peach, whatever you want to call me. I'll be your host for tonight. This is a IME Inc. broadcast. As usual, anything that's stated here are not the thoughts and views of IME because trust, you will hear a lot of wild things tonight all in black. I am excited. I always look forward to Tuesdays now that we've begun this show. And I tell y'all, tonight's topic is, is steaming hot. Um, so we're going to talk about sex, but not in the way that you probably want to talk about it. Tonight's topic is it's not about sex because our relationship simply isn't about sex, right? As much as everybody would like it to be. And we're going to dive in it's, understanding the depth of LGBTQ plus and trans attracted relationships. So, as usual, I'm going to bring the panel on and we're going to have this discussion in black. We got our questions. I know they're excited. I know I'm excited. So, panel, I'm bringing y'all on. Y'all ready to have this discussion?
Ready.
I am now.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So, everybody, take a minute. If you're watching, please take a minute and share this live out, share with your friends, um, inbox people. Feel free to come up on the panel if you like. I'm going to drop the link inside the chat. This is a fun topic, right? Y'all think this one is going to be fun? It's not going to be as challenging as our other topics. I think
I
this
Mm.
will
think
be
it's gonna
fun.
be fun.
There's no such thing as not being tough. I feel like it's always. I feel like as the weeks go on, it's gonna get more and more challenging, more deep.
Oh no, don't say that. I thought this was going to be like a lax, laid back night.
We don't know what
So.
that
You never know.
is.
I think it is.
That's why I
So,
put my crackers and pepperoni and cheese, honey.
oh Lord. You know what? Maybe we all need to come on here with a glass of wine and
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
just
Yes.
relax
Wonderful.
and kick back and have the
Next Tuesday.
conversation. So
Oh, okay.
next Tuesday, bring the wine.
I'm
All
with
I'll
right.
be bringing a refresher. I don't drink.
I'm it. what you
Look,
saying.
Stan already got the wine.
No, that's actually soda.
Oh, Stan.
Uh,
Should have just played it
uh,
on.
we don't have
All right, so are we ready to
cookie.
answer these
Absolutely.
questions? These questions. And as usual, if this is your first time watching in black,
You
the
fight.
screen that I am in is the hot seat. And I ask the questions and I put each panelist in the hot seat and they answer. Nothing is scripted. And it's just you're gonna hear what you hear and get what you get. That's what it's like when we talking in black.
That's right. This is not baddies.
All right. So let's get into these questions. I'm ready. So, as black people, we are uber religious or we might be spiritual, right? And our views on finding a partner and everything is mostly based off of that from that spiritual aspect, the religious aspect. So, my first question of the night, first question. What type of energy are you naturally drawn to? Is it feminine, masculine energy, both, or neither one? What energy? What energy are you into? So the first person I'm gonna put in the hot seat, I think I want to put Smack in the hot seat for some reason. You gotta go in the hot seat.
Okay, here we go. How's everybody doing tonight? I will say I am attracted to femininity. Yeah, most definitely feminine. Gotta be feminine. Um, I'm not. During the time in the beginning when I was trying to find myself, I would say maybe both. But now, and all of these years later, definitely feminine.
Thank you, Smack. Next up in the hot seat, I'm gonna put Tim in the hot seat. Let's see what I get from Tim.
Well, honestly, I'm attracted to both. Both of them, both of them have their unique appeals,
See what I get from Tim. Ooh,
and I don't have set things that I look for in a person. I look for certain qualities in a person that go along with the physical, and the more of those qualities that you possess, the more attracted I'm going to be to you. And I'm attracted to masculine energies for different reasons, and I'm attracted to feminine energies for different reasons. And I would say feminine energy draws me the most because a majority of my relationships have always been feminine energy.
okay. Thank you, Tim. Next up is Andre and Zay. You're in the hot seat.
I like the combination of both. Like not too film, but not too mask. You know what I mean? I like a strong person who's able to have a soft side.
Okay. What about you, Zay?
I would say I like them both, but more masculine than the feminine. I guess it just depends on like, uh, let's say, the timing of it all.
Okay. All right. Next up, Kalani. You ready to get in the hot seat?
Um, I'm more attracted to masculine energy. I'm drawn to masculine energy all day, every day, tomorrow, next week, next year. Gonna be masculine.
Okay, go girl. Next up, Stan.
Uh, Femininity with a tad bit of masculinity.
Okay. Duality. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Duality. All right. So, of course, I have to answer the question. And I think I kind of agree with the majority of the people on here. I like um, both feminine and masculine energy. And as we get into the questions, um, I'll be able to explain more, and everybody in the panelists will be able to explain more. All right. So, the next question, of course, y'all knew I was going to ask this, right? We all explain what kind of energy we like, but what body do you want to see it in? Do you want to see it in a female, a male, a trans person, non binary, or are you open to all identities? Remember, it's energy. That masculine energy can present in anybody. So I'm going to put Stan up in the hot seat first.
Okay. Um, Trans energy. And I really think that covers it all. Uh, the trans energy, um, and that's the vibe I get. You know, so
Okay. Thank you, Stan. I'm going to put Tim in the hot seat.
What was the question again?
Where do you want to see this energy? You said you like both. Do you want it in a female body, a male body, a transgender body, a non-binary, or are you just open to all identities?
I'm attracted to all of the above. It's more so about the person. You know what I'm saying? I'm attracted to different things. I could be attracted to the bouncer at the door and turn around and be attracted to the feminine little guy that's voguing in the middle of the dance floor. I could be attracted to a trans woman or a trans man.
Okay.
I've been in situationships and sexual I've had sexual encounters and been in situationships with all of the above. If you're a beautiful person, I'm gonna be attracted to you. If I mean, it's just about how you make me feel when I'm in your presence. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Stan. All right,
I'm
next
Tim.
up. Next up
I'm
is
Tim.
oops, Tim. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I probably let's put
you already
smack.
got you already got your glass of wine.
Maybe, maybe I had too much chocolate. Let me put smack in the hot seat. See what she say.
I guess them daggone Reese cups you saw
It's
surprised
the
you
Reese
with.
cups. Six
I'm
of the Reese
sorry.
cups. Six.
I know how to take care of my baby. I'm attracted to women who like women but feminine.
Okay, so
Um,
you want it in what body? A man's body, a
no,
female body, a trans
no.
body?
I want it in
Uh,
a female body.
okay,
Yes, that's what I
okay.
want. And I don't, man, you got me thinking on this question now because hmm,
You want me to come
I would,
back to you?
well, no, I've only been in relationships with women in a female body, but I have been attracted to uh, a drag queen before, and we spent some time, but it never matriculated to anything. You know, it was just hanging out like good friends. But I was attracted to them. That's when I was younger. So you really got me thinking about that. But all my relationships have been with women.
Okay, thank you, Smack. I'm going to put Andre and Zay up there in the hot seat.
I mean, I shouldn't even have to answer this question. I mean, he's right here. I just, I personally feel like, this is just a redundant question for me because I mean, I mean, bam. Um,
Definitely
but,
positive.
um, yeah, I definitely don't want a masculine energy in a female body. That would scare the hell out of me. Let me start that. Um, I mean, y'all see us over here laughing. It's because Kalani is whipping his hair, and I want her to understand that we see it froze. Okay, all 14 inches of it, Bill. No, but but yeah,
24
it's
inches.
for me. I need to see that masculine energy in a masculine body. So I need to see it in a man.
I want to see masculine energy in a male. If it comes to a female, I want to see the feminine energy, but I want her to have a little roughness to her at the same time. I don't want just that too much feminine energy, you know.
Okay, all right, all right. So we got to get Kalani in the hot seat. Where you putting all that masculine energy? Is it in what body is it presenting in?
I just want to clear something up. This is 24 inches. Anyway, I want it in a the masculine energy in a male body. But, but I have been attracted to some, I don't even know how to say this. Women who consider themselves, I guess, studs, or is that what they say? Is that what they call them?
Yes,
Somebody help me. Studs.
masculine centered women.
Yes. Okay. I have I have been on a date with one, but it didn't matriculate into anything because the anatomy was off. But yeah,
Okay, okay. So I see, I know the question looked a little strange when y'all read it,
Did
but think
Stan
about what all of y'all just said.
did
I'm gonna
Stan
put Stan did go. Stan said he wants it in a trans body. But the question in itself, did it make you think about what you were really saying? Because I saw all of y'all say, I did think I liked it there, but I did notice it over there. Now, I'm going to answer the question. I like masculine, feminine, and I like it in all identities. I can agree with Tim. It's about how I feel when I'm with you. It's a spiritual connection for me. We got to connect. I got to feel that vibe. So, moving on to the next questions. I maybe these might be a little bit difficult, but you know what? I know my panel can handle anything. Anything that I throw y'all way because that's just who y'all are, right? So, this next question might be a little touchy. Um, when you were discovering yourself, your identity, your orientation, right? Um, it can be very complex, and it requires you to do that inner work to figure out exactly who you are. And then once you figure out who you are, you have to figure out exactly what you need, right? So after you gain that clarity on what you need emotionally from a partner, um, do you know exactly what that is? Do you know exactly, once you know yourself, do you know exactly what you need from a partner at this point in your life? So, are y'all ready to explain that? Through your journey of self discovery, have you gained clarity on what you truly need emotionally? So, y'all take a minute. Who wants to answer this first? Because everybody faces like, what do I need emotionally?
Say,
I'll pop on this thing. um,
All right.
I mean, for me, yeah, I lay it out on the line when my first, 3, 4 months of talking to somebody, I tell them up front, like, this is what I need, this is what it's gonna take. If this ain't something you can handle, I'd rather you hit the door now. Like, ain't no
Ooh.
sense of us wasting our time, ain't no sense of you definitely not wasting mine, baby. Like this is what it is, and you can either handle it or you can't. If you can't, go find you somebody still on your level.
Mm. All right. What about you, Zay? You
I
know what you need emotionally?
I agree with how Andre put it, but yeah, I pretty much after learning myself and knowing what I
Nasty,
lack,
nasty.
I know where my partner can kind of help me out with it.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it makes sense.
It has to make sense to you.
I know it
Not
does to
us.
me, but I'm just saying if it's confusing.
All right. Let's put Smack in a hot seat. Now
What?
that you know who you are, do you know exactly what you need emotionally?
Yes, I know what I need emotionally. I know what I need. My needs have changed um, lately, but I know what I need, and I have no problem with expressing it. And yeah, I know what I need, and you know, I'm gonna leave it there. But I do want to say this, everyone. I know y'all just heard Miss Peach state what you know, she's damn near married. I just need to put that out there.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Stan, you are in the hot seat.
The best way for me to answer that is I I was in a long term relationship and I've been out of it like going over a year now. And what I realize is that I can't depend on anyone to fulfill certain things emotionally for me. And I think I set up things I wanted people to be and fulfill, um, which I really didn't need because the whole thing is my own self love and not depend on somebody feeling certain things to make me whole. And I realized that I was setting up things for to um, wanting somebody to fulfill something that I really didn't need them to do. and I don't know if you really understand where I'm coming from, but I wanted certain things from them that I set up for them to do that I didn't need them to do. So when they didn't fulfill it, then I set myself up for disappointment. So in other words, I don't need anybody to fulfill anything for me because it all is on me. And I can't depend on anybody to fulfill those things. You know, I'm my own person. I depend on me, and I can't give somebody that kind of power over me anymore. Which I didn't have to give them that, but I wanted to give them a certain degree of power so that I felt something that it wasn't necessary for me to do. And I stayed into a relationship for a long time and dealt with things that I really didn't have to deal with. So I'm having the best time of my life right now because I don't have any expectations or any emotional dependency on anybody. And so anything go wrong in my life, it's me. So I hope y'all can understand what I'm saying.
I do. Okay, Stan,
So
deep.
and if I get into a relationship with somebody, you know, like at this point, it's like I can be the better person now than I was because I can come into a relationship a whole lot better now than because I'm not coming there expecting anything from you, but uh and I'm not going to lay on anybody for anything emotional. You know, right now, if I get into a relationship, all I want to do is enjoy a relationship. Nothing else. Let's just take this time. Let's have some fun. Let's not get deep into it. And as we get into it, you never know. But you know, right now, that's the thing. Relationships are supposed to be enjoyed. You know, I'll never want to come home again after dealing with everything I deal with every day, and then have to come home and then, oh goddamn, I got to deal with her. Now that's something else I got to deal with. I don't want to go down that no more. No, so, and I'm not trying to get deep, but I'm just being
No,
honest.
this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. I'm gonna put Kalani in the hot seat now. Thank you, Stan.
Um, I'm gonna agree with everyone, but I really like what Smack and Stan was saying about emotional connections, because I realized that as I got older, the things that I wanted at 20, I didn't want at 30. The things that I needed at 30, I didn't need at 40. So my emotional intelligence grew, and my emotional needs kind of expanded. So that's why I go into relationships now, whether it be romantic or friendship, whatever, with no expectation from anybody. Um, so yeah, that's where I stand with it. I don't think we really know what we need emotionally until it's presented.
Okay. Thank you, Kalani. I'm gonna put Tim in the hot seat.
Do I know what I want emotionally in a relationship, emotionally from a partner? At this point in my life, yes, I do. But getting here was a process. Before therapy, the things that I was looking for in relationships was a lot different than what I realized I actually need. Before therapy, I was looking for somebody to fill a void, uh, to fill in a hole. And I kept getting disappointed when I couldn't find that. When in all actuality, I should have been looking for a person. I wasn't looking for a person that fit a mold. I was looking for a person that fit the things that had always been missing in my life. My relationships with my family, mostly. So, after therapy, I realized a lot of things about, I just reevaluated everything in my life and everything around me. And I realized there are some situations that I set myself up for because I'm a real giving person. I give, 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 give. And after therapy, I started seeing the people in my life that were takers. And takers don't ever have a limit. They'll take as much as you give them. They'll stay there as long as you keep feeding. And I cut a lot of these people off. And once I cut them off, there was nobody around me. Like within a couple of years, I was alone. And in alone time, that's when I figured out what I actually needed in a relationship. And it wasn't as much as I thought it was. So yeah, I definitely know what today I know what it is that I need emotionally in a relationship. I know what I can provide. I know what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything specific, but wherever I'm going to be embodied in is going to be something that pours into me as I pour into it. I'm not being in no more situations where I'm continually pouring into someone, but I'm just there alone. I'm everybody's rock, even my own. That's a lonely place to be. Why be in a relationship alone?
Wow. Thank you, Tim. Wow. So y'all basically answered the next question. Some of you, most of you, which would have been described in depth exactly what it is that you need from your partner. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give my opinion on it. I know that I know who I am, and I personally need someone that's going to build with me. I don't need anything. I'm not really an emotional person because I wasn't raised to be that way. I am more of a legacy person. I want you to come in. I want us to work together. I want to build the kingdom with you. And then I want to be able to leave it to whomever we're leaving behind. Um, I get these principles from the people, that raised me. My grandfather, for example, is the one that instilled those thoughts into me. Relationships are like many companies and things of that nature. So, my next question to you guys, with everything y'all just said, what you need emotionally, or if you didn't say it and you thought it in your head, do it stem from any emotional unmet needs or expectations from your past, or maybe like me, from upbringing, someone instilled those thoughts into you? I'm going to put Smack on the hot seat. Let's put you back on.
Well, well, well. Good evening, everyone. Woo. So, yeah, I had some unmet needs that stem from my childhood. Like when my parents decided to go their ways, they separated. That did something to me. Not saying that my mom didn't tell me she loved me, but my dad, I was a daddy's girl. You feel me? And when you a daddy's girl and you outside cutting the grass with dad, you watching dad kill the big black snake that was in the backyard. I got you, baby. You know you're your superhero. And then when your parents separate, I missed that time. So that was one need that I need, is the need I needed that emotional part of I always wanted to feel loved because my dad poured that on me daily as his only girl, and I'm the only girl. So um as I started to get into relationships, right, with women, I wanted to hear that you love me because tomorrow is not guaranteed, and not all women are like that. You feel me? You're not gonna always get that. To be with someone, I learned in my current relationship that about love languages. You know what I mean? And that's not something that, as I was coming up, that I learned about the love language. And in my past relationship, they always called me a big teddy bear because I always wanted to be loved on. That is one of the things. When my dad left, it did something to me. Not saying that my mother didn't give me love, but my dad and I just had a bond that was until this, and still today we have that bond. But being a little girl and you look up to your dad, that's your superhero. And when they separated, it hurt me. So I never really dealt with that and never really spoke on it until I started my dating, in the dating scene. And but I gotta say this, in the current relationship that I'm in now with Peach, I have learned so much about myself because she'll tell you, I used to tell her, I used not to love me, y'all. I love the hell out of me now. You know what I'm saying? And that come from having your other half being as strong as she is, and s- she saw things that I didn't see. I kind of had blinders on, and the blinders were on, and I wasn't see what was really going on out here. So my when I say my emotional needs have changed as I've gotten older, even till this present day, because I don't think that if I learned the things that I learned with Peirrce in the beginning of our relationship, I don't think I'd be able to handle what I'm going through now, with my health, you know. And I love the constant reminders that she gives me to let me know who I am. And I appreciate that. So now in this present day, what I need from a partner is not as much as it used to be when I was just coming out. You know what I mean? I'm 52, get ready to be 53. So I'm gonna say in the last like 45 years before now, you know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm a much stronger person now. So and I gotta give that to who I'm with. I hope I answered your question there.
You did. Thank you, Smack. All right, so I'm gonna put Andre and Zay on the hot seat.
You go first.
Definitely doing it. What is the question?
You said, what is the question? All right, so you mentioned what you needed.
Right.
Does any of that stem from any unmet needs, past relationships, anything that could have triggered you to want those things from another party?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like that the things that I look for in my partner does stem from past things that I never got or something that I haven't really fully understood. Like when it comes to, let's say, genuinely loving someone and just loving somebody. I don't know. Yeah. I guess it stems from the past. That's what I look for in the future right now.
Um, Two words for me: living, learning. Um, I lived through some things, and I learned from each thing I lived through, and so I've been able to shape myself to know now what I will tolerate and what I won't tolerate, and them boundaries be boundarying. So, you know, it's just live and learn.
Okay. I think I'm gonna put Stan in the hot seat.
Okay. Um, Emotionally, um, I was raised by a single mom, and she raised three boys, and there was no father. And the best way I can say is that I've seen her not depend on any man to pay our rent, do anything for us. She did it all, and the respect that I got from her. So to say that I learned from her that the only person you can depend on is you. And she depended on herself. She didn't have boyfriends coming around. She never had. She did date, but she did it respectfully around us. But she never had a man paying anything or fulfilling her emotionally. So to say that is, my brothers and I got two brothers, and for us, we never had to depend on anybody emotionally because we didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see her begging some man for rent. We didn't see her getting a man paying for nothing. She did everything herself. So we saw the strength she had. So when I get into a relationship now, I'm not going into a relationship expecting anything. And sometimes I sat back and compromised my own values to be in a relationship, that I compromised and lowered some of the things about myself in order to fulfill that relationship. And to make somebody feel needed, it was a game being played with that. So emotionally, I wouldn't depend on anybody for any of that. So I'm not going to depend on it. I was raised by a strong mom, and she was always honest. Like, she was a person that we didn't have to hide anything. We could talk about anything with her. And it never afraid to go to her with questions. And I just saw the strength she had, and she never raised us around needy things. Like, you don't have to depend on anybody. Anything you do, I stole something one time. And I remember when I stole it, and it was like $3 worth of stuff I took from a store. And my mother told me how stupid that was. She said, "You stole something that you could buy." I lost $100 today having to take work, taking off work to deal with something stupid that you could have just bought. And it just showed, but yet, I was around friends because I wanted to try to fit in with certain things. And the thing is, like I said, I get into a relationship with somebody. At this point, I could be the best person in the world because I'm not going to lean on you for anything. If I want anything from you, it's just loyalty and truth. Other than that, I don't want nothing else. You give me loyalty, you got truth, you got the greatest guy in the world.
Thank you, Stan.
Okay.
All right. Tim, you ready? All right. You need the
Hello?
question again?
Yeah, could you repeat the question? I've been listening to the stories, so could you repeat the
So
yeah.
you stated the things that you needed, and you basically answered it already. But if you just want to recap, does any of your emotional needs come from any unmet challenges from your youth experiences or something that you was raised to do, like in my example?
It's both. It's the lack of both of my parents. Like, for majority of my life, my grandmother did everything that my parents were supposed to do. So, and then I was the only male in the household, and I was put into a role of responsibility at an extremely young age because of the fact that I was the only male. So it kind of set me up for how I was in relationships because I was raised because I was the only male that I was supposed to protect and provide for everybody because I was the only man. So, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's something that I hold true to my heart. That's something that I live by. But it made me a giver. You know what I'm saying? It made me a consoler. It made me, and those things are good with family and children, but people in relationships will use you when they find out you're that type of person.
Right.
So I went through a lot of bruises and heartaches just because I was a good guy,
Right.
you know, and it just it's a process that as I matured, I learned the red flags that I never had any elders teach me. Did I answer
Thank
the question?
Yes, you did. You answered it well. You answered it well.
Right.
I'm gonna put Kalani in the hot seat.
Um, Not unmet needs, but needs that were neglected. Personally. Um, so every version of myself that I have evolved into demands a certain type of emotional need. So if a person cannot meet that or exceed it, then we just cannot engage. So that's my answer.
Okay. Thank you, Kalani.
You're welcome.
So y'all gave me a lot of information, right? And I've been writing some stuff down because y'all gave me a lot of information and viewpoints. And we're going to do things a little bit different after this question because y'all touched on some things that I felt like needed to be clarified on for people that misunderstand our identities and our orientations. But
Right.
I'm going to ask this next question, and then I have a question that I didn't present to y'all, but it's going to be individual questions. So, so this last question before I do the individual one to help people understand who we are. Um, do you feel like your partner's gender or identity plays a role in how well they understand or meet your emotional needs? So, remember, we talked about the energy, what you like, what body you wanted it in. Does that equip them to meet your emotional needs? Do you feel like they understand you better, that identity or orientation that you chose? So I'm going to put, because everybody is like, never thought about it that way. Did I pick them because of this? I'm going to put Tim because I feel like Tim is really in touch and will be able to answer this quickly for everybody.
Okay. Now ask the question again.
Okay. So, do you feel like, okay, so you're open to all identities. Does that person or persons make them qualified to be able to be with you, Tim, because of who they are, because of their identity or orientation?
No, it's never about I don't go out with a gauge and tonight I'm gonna meet a trans woman. Oh, tonight I'm in the mood for a trans man. Tonight I'm in the mood for a cis woman. It's not like that. um, it's just because of that person. It's not because of what they identify as. It's just simply that person possesses enough of the qualities that do it for me.
Okay.
If that makes sense, you know.
Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense. So I'm gonna put Smack in the hot seat next.
Wow.
When you be choosing these women, do you choose them because you feel like they are more equipped to meet your emotional needs?
Well, I'm gonna say this. First I'm choosing them uh, to make sure that from the outer appearance, they got to meet some things that is on my checklist. First, I'm just being real. Then we
Well,
gonna
yeah.
have some communication. And when I say that, I mean, I got like a checklist. One of my things, I don't want to put my business out there, but it's about what you bring to the coffee table. You know what I'm saying? Coffee table. Sit down. The table's a little lower, so you got to reach down. You know what I'm saying? I guess I only get it, but it's about what the physical for me. Okay, and then as we're talking, if I'm doing all the talking, we're probably not going to have another date where I get try to get to know you. I got to be able to communicate with you, and we're both communicating and sharing things. I don't want to be the one doing all the talking. You know what I mean? It's got to be a vibe. Like you said, it's the energy. And that's what it is. So, did I answer your question?
Yes. Yes, you answered it. So basically,
There's a checklist, and then the
only as a
conversation.
checklist, but only a woman can
Yeah,
meet those needs. Whatever it is that you need can
because that,
meet your
yeah,
emotional needs.
yeah, because that's what I'm attracted to. I want a woman. Uh,
Okay.
that's what I want. You know, I mean, you know, I got bros and homeboys and all that, but when it comes down to, you know, who, you know, you know who I want to be with, it comes to first that, you know, first three things on my check off list, and then it's about communication. We're gonna go out and be around each other in all types of settings. I gotta make sure you're right before I say, hey, you know, let's do this. I mean, I've dated, you know, some to make sure for a while before I, you know, pop that question. You feel me?
Okay.
Gotta make sure it's right.
All right. I'm going to put Kalani in the hot seat. Kalani, when you meet these men, are they the only is is a man the only body, only identity that can meet your emotional needs? A woman can't do it. Is it only just a man that can do this?
I'm sure it's not only a man that can do it, but it's a man, only a man that I want to do it.
Okay.
I hope that answered the question.
It does. I'm trying to get y'all to think. The identity and gender that y'all choose, do y'all choose them because they could meet your emotional needs?
I think I choose them because of the attraction, and then the emotional stuff kind of comes, afterwards. I don't walk up to somebody and just be like, I wonder if he can emotionally keep me together. Like, I'm looking at the physical first, and then I don't know.
I
Bang
know the
bang.
Yeah,
question
like
is
that. I mean,
hard.
that's honest. That's honest.
Yep, it's honest.
That's honest.
Andre and Zay, are y'all ready?
Um, Between Smack and Kalani, I just want y'all to know both. I don't like y'all tonight because y'all read my answer. Um, Before we got to this point of the show, and it bothered me. I mean, minus the fact, Smack, when I was dating females, we had the same objective. That coffee table was a great thing. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you on that. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's I gotta see what you bring to the table, and I gotta see how you can handle being in the atmospheres that I'm in. Because I know that everybody can't handle the atmospheres I walk. Between being a community activist, being a leader, being a philanthropist, and then being a CEO. I got to make sure you can handle all these different types of atmospheres, but I also need to make sure that your vibe is strong enough to stand on your own two feet, and that you can even handle the atmospheres that you allow yourself to walk in. Because some people, their shoes, as my granddad would say, your britches is bigger than you know, you gotta be able to stand as a grown man. Because I'm not looking for somebody that's here today, going tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not worthy of a ring, we ain't gonna last. At this point in my life, I'm grown. I ain't got time for the BS. Kalani, fix your face. So yeah, so that's so that's how I'm looking at it.
Okay, Stan, you in the hot seat.
Zay didn't answer though,
Oh,
Pete.
Zay, go ahead, Zay. Zay looking like giving me the vibe
Oh,
uh,
He gave you that Reese cup.
like I want to pass this one. Go ahead, Zay.
Put
I'll
them
say
damn
that
Reese
when I
cups down.
say both can fulfill it, but I only look for it in the one that I'm with.
Okay. You see, you smart. You smart. I knew it was gonna be very little or no words. You are smart. All right, Stan.
Um, well, I already know what I'm attracted to. So it's like what Tim was saying. If you find a beautiful person, and so like Tim was saying, he doesn't have any categories with any. It's like, hey, you're a beautiful person, and that's a great thing. But I'm not attracted to somebody that looks like me, and they could be as beautiful as anything, but uh, I'm just not attracted to that. And through all my years of living, I didn't dated and been with every kind of person and experimented. With all that said, I know what I'm attracted to now. So for me to be or say, hey, this is a beautiful person, I like them, and they look like me, it would never work. So um, trans women is what I'm attracted to, and trans women that are attracted to me, that makes it work. So I don't know, but that's that. So I don't, I know what I'm attracted to and what I know will work for me. You know.
Okay. Thank you. Wow. All right. So that was a pat question, and I was told by a couple people on a panel last week that my questions are difficult, even though I think they seem so simple. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for joining us. We have Melissa. Let me read her comment before I ask my next question. My off the cuff questions. Melissa says, everyone is doing phenomenal. I love the rawness and the fact that this is therapeutic. As a person, you can gain so much perspective. These conversations really allow you to evolve as a person mentally and spiritually. We are meant to connect on a real level in order to function in society. Empathy and knowledge are key. These stories are beautiful, and I respect all of you for being true to yourself. Thank you, Melissa.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. So, as we were talking and we were just going through the emotional space about who we are and what we like, you know, the heterosexual community don't understand us. And sometimes when you all speak, I kind of shift into the heterosexual brain, and a lot of questions start to arise. If I was heterosexual, would I think this, or I would probably think this. So I have a question for Smack, right? I'm going to put you on the hot seat. I got a question. You mentioned how your mother and father separated, and that was a major pivotal point in your life, right? And your dad was your hero and you admired him. If I was a heterosexual person, I would hear that and I would translate that over as to that is why you are a lesbian.
What?
Is that the reason? Because you identified with your father? Did you become a lesbian because you wanted to step into a man's role? Could you answer that?
Yeah, I
Because
can
I could
answer
see
it.
a heterosexual person thinking that way.
Okay. I can answer that. You know, when my parents separated, I was in school, so I was in my lower grades, and I've always been attracted to women. I was attracted to my second grade teacher. Before I even went to pre-K, we played house. I was the dad. I was attracted to my little friends. I can't remember a time when I was truly attracted to boys. I'm just being real. My attraction has always been girls, then, women. I had a crush on my teacher. Like, that's what motivated me to get up early, always want new clothes, new shoes to look good for my teacher. I was attracted to my teacher. So No, what happened in my childhood when my parents separated has nothing to do with my sexuality. No, mm-mm. I've always felt this way. I might couldn't come out as when I was that young, but I've always been. And you can ask my dad, my mom, everybody. I've always been a tomboy, wanted to do boy things. I didn't learn how to cook until I took home ec in junior high. I didn't never want to be in the kitchen with my mom and grandmom. I wanted to be out with the boys. That was, you know, me. I guess my parents may have thought I outgrow it. I would outgrow it. I hated wearing dresses. So yeah, nah, that has nothing to do with it at all. So you know, I just want to put that out there, and I think that is like some miscommunication between from the people who don't know our lifestyle, our community. Let me put it like that, or lifestyle, that they put these what do you call them? And these what's the word? I can't even think of it. They put these their own narrative on stuff that's not true. Okay. And I used to go, and I may be going off a little bit, and I do apologize, Peach, but I used to go. A lot of heterosexual people on social media would post a lot of things that, as me reading it, it would offend me, and I used to go and correct everybody all the time. But I was like, forget it. Let me just delete them, and I ain't gotta see it. But I think that there's a education that needs to be had by them so they can understand, and that's why I love this show. But nah, that had nothing to do with why I am attracted, why I'm a lesbian. That had nothing to do with it. Nah.
Okay, thank you. And see, I just wanted to clarify some things before we get into the sexual half of it, because again, when you put yourself in hetero mode, if you can put yourself there, they have these thoughts, a lot of misconceptions, and this is what In Black is about. We are dispelling myths all the time, every Tuesday. So my next question is for Stan. I'm going to put you in the hot seat.
Hmm.
Personalized question, because remember, I'm always listening and writing.
Yeah.
So you always talk about your wonderful mother. She
Yeah.
actually makes me feel like I want her for my mom, because she sounds like an extraordinary lady, right?
Yes.
She's both the matriarch and the patriarch in the family. Now, when you translate that over heterosexual brain, and you put it into one body, is that why you like trans women? Because they're representation of the feminine and masculine in one body functioning, and maybe make you like, remind you of your mother, the strength, the wisdom, everything all in one body, and has the mechanical parts that you need and want. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat.
Okay. No, it had nothing to do with my mother had nothing to do with that. Not at all. Um, it was just something that I was I was attracted to early in my life that I knew. So it had nothing to do with my mother's strength and all that. Um, it was just something that it was just what I was attracted to. Like early as eighth grade, I was attracted to like the Femi boys in eighth grade. And I just had an attraction to that. Um, so heterosexually, I don't consider myself, and I mean I don't. I'm in the queer community, but I don't consider myself like as a gay man because I'm not attracted to men. So, um, but my mother had nothing to do with that. It was just something I was always attracted to, and one of the things I'm proud of myself is that I never uh, fought that and never questioned myself, about it. And, like something's wrong with me, I got a problem, I know how I felt and I just dealt with that. As far as my mother goes, I never had to talk about it, but she always saw that. And later, it became a conversation where I just realized that I didn't, I didn't have to sit back like I was hiding anything because I didn't have. When I started even hanging with the Femi boys, I always felt comfortable bringing them around my mother because she wasn't judging any of it. And so I didn't have to battle certain things, and I'm so glad I didn't because I hear so many stories, and everybody, even people on this panel, they had to do with family things, family emotions, and I really sympathize with a lot of that. Um, because a lot of people had to do that. They got disowned by their family, things like that. And I'm just glad I didn't have to go through that. Um, and so anything I do, I did it because of what I wanted. I didn't have a church background behind me, and I had to live through these rules. My mother, I used to ask her why we never went to church. And she just said, you know what? You can find church on your own. I'm not going to instill anything in you and try to and mold you and your brothers into something. That's something I want you to discover and have the freedom that I didn't have to do these things. And so we didn't. So we got to pick and choose certain things with that, and that's why I respected her. My brothers and I, we never got in trouble. And we never did things because of the fact that that's why, like I say, a lot of kids join gangs, they do things. They don't respect their parents because if you respected your parents, a lot of things you wouldn't do because you wouldn't send your parents through it. So we wasn't going to send my mother. She worked two jobs, do things for us. And there's no way I would sit back and me and my brothers to this day, and all of us is very successful. All of us, me and my two brothers are. And that's because of the fact that we didn't have to, we respected her. And she put all she had into us. And the least we could do is let her see us succeed. So it had nothing to do with her. I was attracted to trans femi, from a kid on. And it was just feelings I never fought. And I think because I never fought them, because I didn't grow up in the church, I didn't grow up around certain things, so I didn't have any conflicts, if you understand what I'm saying. I wasn't conflicted with, okay, this is what God is and God says, so I didn't have these conflicts. I could just do what I felt, So, and even with my brothers, growing up with two alpha males, I got two alpha male brothers older than me, and they never had issues with me. So, you know, and to this day, we still close. We very close. And I dated, I was in a relationship. Like I said, I always dated trans women, and even the relationship I was in was a long-term relationship, and I never second guessed bringing her around my family, holidays, going out doing stuff. They always made her feel right in. So I never made an issue with it. So I never had those conflicts. So I mean, I hope that I answered it the best.
You did. You
You
did
know,
very well.
you
Thank
okay?
you, Stan.
I could be long-winded sometime. I know.
Uh, you did very well. You and Smack did very well. And y'all probably like, where did she get these questions from? But it was based off your conversations, and I thought it was important that people understand
Hmm.
that this is who we are, what we like. It's
Right.
not a phase, and it's not trauma based.
Right.
That's why I asked those questions. So, everybody's favorite part of the show. We're going to talk about sex, okay? You're free to not answer the questions, or you're free to answer them as much as you want, right? So y'all pretty much answer the energy part. Um
Uh-oh.
does the person body turn you on, the anatomy and all of those things. So we're going to get to the connection piece sexually, because I don't think people understand that when it comes to sex and you're looking for a partner, you have to connect both with your body and your mind, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask y'all what physical traits, and y'all could just, explain it, be, descriptive so people could understand, like, yo, this ain't just some type of, we doing this just because we want to have sex. No, we doing this because this is what we like. We enjoy it, like that.
Right.
That your favorite soft drink, your favorite food, this is what we like. So what physical traits or experience help you feel more connected during intimacy with the person that you choose? So for me, I'll go first, right? I'll come out the gate. So what I like, because I like feminine and masculine energy, and I guess I like to see it in one body. And it's just something about how it meshes well, and just how the movement is to see that feminine and masculine energy, and how they hold you, and how you can connect during that, before the moment, and then during the moment, and then after the moment you still want them to be there,
Yeah.
and you can't get that for me, total straight heterosexual person. I need both energies in one body coexisting for me to feel fulfilled. So I'm gonna put Kalani in the hot seat.
Oh God. Can I have the question again? Because I'm all wrapped up in what you were saying.
So, what physical traits and experiences with that man that you meet help
Mm,
you feel more connected during intimacy? Let's help people understand why we want these people.
mm. Um, um, I don't know. It's the masculine energy on like a man's body, like just a man, like a stocky type of man. Mm, oh God. Without getting too graphic, yeah, I'm no, just on a man's body. A man's body, him being masculine, the chest, every part of a man's body that you could think of. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that.
Okay, thank you, Kalani. I'm gonna put Andre and Zay in the hot seat. Since y'all a couple, I know y'all got some fire stuff to say.
Oh, this gonna be nice.
There you go.
Well, I probably say like I would say everything, but for me, when I how I say like I like the masculine more than the feminine, it's something about that when it comes to the sexual part of it with a man that can just bring that feminine part of me out or that part that I never really seen to experience, and it's a different feeling, so it makes me want it more from the male.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, okay, so this I look at things a little different. Okay, so I'm a Cancer. Cancer. I like to watch your mouth, Kalani. I like to find that part of a person that like makes them like crawl before penetration. You know what I mean? Like, can I make you feel like you've reached ecstasy without penetration? And when I can do that, then I know like we're connecting differently. You know what I mean? Because I'm all about eye contact. I'm all about feeling. I'm all about like, you know, like knowing you, like you ever been turned out but not penetrated? Like that's me. Like let me do that, and then we'll work on everything else. Because if I can do that, then I already know, like, if when it gets to the part of penetration, no matter which way it flows, like, is you're going to be satisfied. Because if you're not satisfied, I didn't do my job.
Okay. And you prefer it with doing that with a man? Is it more
I'm dating.
pleasurable
I'm,
with a
da-
man?
I'm dating a man. Let's let's not confuse that part. I mean, my when I mean, like, let me be real. Like when I dated females, they never were, you know, like shunned or turned away or anything like that. They enjoy it as much as any man I've dated. But for a man, it's just a different rawness, because I feel like for a man, a lot of men, you can't really just, like, you can't please completely. You know what I mean? I feel like men are always picky on things, but when you can actually show a man something he's never seen before or he's never felt before, like, oh, but ain't nobody never do that before. I did my job.
Okay. Okay. Let's put Tim in the hot seat.
Yeah, could you repeat the question? Can you hear me?
Ooh, y'all got it going on with these answers, y'all. All right. So, the person that you like, what are the physical traits and experience that help you feel more connected during intimacy?
Well, it's different energies with different people. First, can I say this? I dated different genres at different. I dated different genres at different points in my gay evolution. So most of my trans experiences were in my 20s and 30s. So I'm not just turned on by different things, all of these things, all at the same time every night when I go out. At this point in my life, I'm dealing with exclusively males. So
Okay.
before I answer the question, I wanted to say that. And what I look for is different in masculine men than it is in feminine men. In masculine men, my attraction is more so along the lines of a brotherhood. With feminine men, my my it's more along the lines of uh, the process of courtship to marriage. So the connections are completely different with a feminine man, and sex really isn't that different because a lot of men are more feminine in the bedroom. So, but as far as like the attraction, like most of the feminine men want to curl up under me. Most of the masculine men, we slap box and we wrestle. It's different. It's just one thing that I do like that makes me the most comfortable is if I can go out in the street with you. Doesn't matter if you're masculine. It doesn't matter if you're feminine. If I can go out in the street with you without drawing too much unusual attention, that's what's comfortable for me. That because when I walk out my door every day, I don't draw any unusual attention. Not saying I would shun someone who is more on the outside, but I'm more comfortable with someone that not even necessarily blends. Just somebody that's just not a whole animation as soon as they hit daylight and the whole time we in public. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. All right. We got to get Stan in the hot seat. All right, Stan. You need the
Okay.
questions?
The no thing is, um, I don't put none in categories. I'm attracted to, um, I don't put limitations on anything. You know, um, when it comes to sex, it's everything. You know, I don't sit back and say, and I'll just be totally honest. I'm a top. I'm a bottom. I don't have. We don't have. I don't. We don't. I don't go through any of that. It's hey, let's whatever floats the boat. Let's just it's sex, and so I don't put limitations, and they don't put limitations, and I've been surprised. Like I said, sometimes when with trans women, it's what I'm attracted, what turns me on. I just happen to date women that have a penis, and that is so. There's no limitations on that, and I'm a bottom, I'm on top, and all that. We just it's enjoyed, and I don't expect people to understand that, but I don't want people to judge that either, because you got some people sit back and they throw their opinions on it, but I don't need people to try to understand me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to try to force myself to make you understand who I am and what I like. I like what I like. So I'll just say when it comes to sex, I don't put limitations or anything on it. It's what it is.
I know that's right.
Okay, so
We like what we like.
yeah,
Oh, okay. We like
and
what
I
we
respect
like.
that. Whatever you like, I respect that.
I know that's right.
You
So I'm sure if a homophobe come across this video,
know.
their mouth is going to drop. But these questions are being asked and answered so you can understand our community. Hopefully, get a full perspective of anyone, whatever gets you off that homophobic rope, and understand that everybody can't be the same and we all like different things and different people and have different experiences, but it's all good.
A lot of homophobes are the way they are because they can't express themselves. They're in a box, and you know what I'm saying. And you tied into a box about what's supposed to be. This is the way and I'm not like that. I'm not. Hey, this is whatever's supposed to be is what I want it to be. I'm not living my life through what's supposed to be. You know, and there's a certain freedom with that. And some people live through that. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad I wasn't raised with religious behind me, religion and things, and fighting these demons and fighting who you are, and battling and having to deal with family issues with who you are. And I sympathize with all that with people, but I'm just glad I didn't have to do that. And just hey, um, and homophobes. A lot of homophobic people are because they do what's supposed to be done. They'll marry a woman, they do the right thing, but knowing they don't want to be with the woman. They want to be with a man. They want to be with a transsex. You'd be surprised at the people that inbox me all the time with guys asking me, how do you do what you do? How are you so open? I get all that. I'm gonna start charging a fee to give advice to a lot of these guys because they hit me up so much about, and to me, it's natural. I'm not doing nothing, different. It's just natural to me. And yet they're trapped with marriages. They're trapped in relationships because of what was supposed to be. And I'm just thankful that I never had to battle that, you know. And I understand when people do that, especially when you got family and
Right.
things, and you got to be in a closet and you got to do these things. But I'm hoping that me being as open as I am will help other people understand that you really don't have to live your life a certain way. And if people don't accept that, then that's fine.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's okay. You know,
So I'm
and
about to
even
cut in on you.
okay. I'm sorry. Look, I'm
You're okay. Yeah, okay. We just got to get through a few more. Then we gonna get up all on the panel together
My
on the
answers are always
screens.
gonna be short after
Oh Lord, no, we love
this.
you, Stan. We love you. Oh my God. So this next question is gonna be quick, right? Y'all know y'all watch them bad LGBT movies where the guy or the woman they go out
You
and
skipped
they
over me.
oh, did I skip you? I'm sorry,
You
hon.
sure did.
Probably
Oh,
because I
Yeah.
know the answer.
me, yeah.
Well, everybody else need to know the answer.
Oh,
Well, I won't say. I
I'm
think some.
cutting my camera. No, go ahead. I was say I'm cutting my camera off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So look, check this out, y'all. If for me, with this question, are there certain physical traits? Yes. It's all about them lips. You know what I mean? And she know what I'm talking about. It's the lips, that smile, teeth. It's you gotta, if I was on the if I was single, your breath got be right. Matter of fact, my baby brush her teeth every night before she come to bed. That just do something, you know what I mean? And that's about the connection. It's all about the touch. And I love what Stan said. A lot of people look at me because I'm so masculine centered, and it took me some time. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Took me some time to get here and to know it's about who you're with. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I've learned that late in the LGBT, because I used to be a touch me not, don't touch me, no, don't touch there, no, 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 no.
Wow, really?
But because that's who, that's the young me. I'm older now, and you know, um, when you in sync with someone and that's the love of your life, and you got no problem being, opening up some doors to, let them explore and let them, do some things. You never know what you might like. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. As far as that, that intimacy part. Um, and I just want to share. I'm gonna stop it right there. Yeah, I see you laughing at me, Dr. Kalani.
And that is why I wanted to skip you.
Why? Because what you think? I'm being real though. A lot of
Ah,
people don't get this way.
oh my God. All right. So the next question, as I was saying, as before I was rudely cut off by a person I thought wasn't going to answer this question because it said career and possible embarrassment of yours truly. But let me ask this question. Um, so we watched those bad 80s LGBT movies about the gay man and woman. They go out in the street, they meet up maybe in one of those bars, they have sex with the LGBT person, they run home, they scream, they cry, they can't believe they did this. Oh my god. They damn near scrub the skin off their penis or scrub the skin off of their body. So my next question is, how do you feel after a sexual experience with the person that you are attracted to? Are you happy? Are you disgusted? Are you ashamed? Um, I know this question sounds really crazy to us, but to the average person that may wonder, because we sick in the head and we got all these other issues. How do you feel after a sexual experience? Are you disgusted? How do you feel? I'm gonna put Tim on a hot seat.
I'm having sex. Sometimes I have sex because I'm horny, and sometimes I have sex because I'm lonely. So how I feel after those two experiences is kind of different. If it was good company when I'm lonely, if it was good company and the sex was good, I'm good. I'm cool. Um, if it's somebody that it's like on an emotional set, it depends on whether we connected, if we even made it to a sexual, even if we even made it to sex. You know what I'm saying? Because just because I'm sexually attracted to you and we get in a position to have sex, that don't mean if everything don't click and we don't feel like a team, I, I'm mature enough to pass. So did that answer your question?
Yes. Do you I got another one. Do you throw holy water on yourself afterwards because you think you're going to hell?
When when I was okay, the answer that I got to say this: when I first moved to Philly, I was green from the country, from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and before I moved to the city, I didn't have sex unless I had sex in a relationship. So for the first year and 3 months that I was in Philly, I didn't have sex. And then one morning I woke up and I was like, why am I laying here with blue balls when it's a whole city of men out here? And that's when I started having casual sex. I just felt
Okay.
like I deserved to have sex. I'm, I'm young, I'm in my early 20s, and but before I moved to the city, I only had sex if I was in a relationship.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. I'm gonna put Kalani in the hot seat because Kalani looked like she got a lot to say.
No, I'll just be listening for real. Um, I'm gonna answer this in two parts. When I before my transition, I hated sex, and it had nothing to do with the other person. It just was. I felt like it was just so overrated because it was just not enjoyable. If you are a, I think any bottom would understand what I'm talking about. Um, it was painful. It wasn't the best. So it was more so emotional that I would go with before. Now after transition, after that good surgery, sex is wonderful. It's great. I had a blast. So that's my answer.
I'm gonna put
I'm
I'm gonna
having a
put
blast.
I'm gonna put Andre say in the hot seat.
Kalani, I just want you to know that you just had a whole revelation.
Ain't
Because
God good?
the smile said it all. Girl, you turned it to brainstorm on me. You just this must be heaven. Um, um, I mean, if I'm attracted to the person, okay. So here's my personal belief: I don't have sex with people that I'm not dating, like that I'm not in a serious relationship with. Um, and so for me, it has to be a connection, um, intimately. But if I'm attracted to the person, which I'm going to be attracted to you if I'm dating you, then sex is great. Like sex is what it just fulfills that desire. Um, am I saying that you some people you might be physically attracted to that you're not sexually compatible with? I'm not saying that at all. I've had some bad days, but you know, for the most part, yeah, sex is wonderful. Like ain't too much I ever said. Oh, why did I do this? Um, you know, they waiting on you,
Okay.
Zay.
Zay.
I didn't know I was answering the question. I don't know because I can be on both sides of the fence. Like the older I get, I feel like yeah, it should just be like with that one person, so it's gonna always be good. But on the other hand, my brain has a part where it'd be like not so much random hookups, but not your partner or a partner, period. Just like having to hook up with someone could also be interesting and fun because it's just for the moment. But those just for the moment ones could just be everything.
Okay. Next up on the hot seat, I think I'm gonna put Stan. Thank y'all.
Do the
All
question one
right.
more time.
All right, Stan. So after you have sex, how do you feel? Do you feel happy, disgusted, or ashamed? You're having sex with somebody you are attracted to.
Okay, that depends. Um, it depends on the situation. Um, I know there's times I mean, there's think one time, like I think I mentioned this before, that I had sex with uh, somebody, and that you 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 know we was at a hotel leaving the club, and they had to get home, and then she had to take the makeup and everything off to go home, and that was something that you start looking at like, oh, this is the person I was here with. Now they can't go home dressed like this. So now they got to take the hair, the makeup, and all that. And so now you with a whole different person. That got me. And then it's like they had less hair than I did, and they had bald spot here and there. It's just like, God damn, But it like I said, it depends on the situations you're in. It's like I can have sex with someone and there's no regrets. Then there's some, like I said, that situation. But yeah, I really don't know how to answer that, because you can have sex and enjoy it and with one person, and then you have a nightmare with somebody else. But all in all, I don't have regrets.
Okay. Thank you, Stan. I'm gonna put Vonda in the hot seat.
Lord have mercy. I love me some Stan. I don't mean
Me
no harm.
too.
Because you know why I love Stan? Because I'm right there with him. I go back to my younger days. Everything that looked good can't, what good. You're attracted to him. No, come on, come on with me. And it just be the worst, you know what I'm saying? But in my later years, and I'm in a relationship. There was a point in time where, I was just single, but I had, you know,
Yeah.
leave it there. Cause y'all know on this panel know what I'm talking about. But now in my later years, it's like to Peru and back. You feel me? I'm not trying to throw no holy water. I'm not trying to ever leave that feeling, to be honest. But
Yeah.
it's amazing. I'm in a relationship. It's woo amazing. I'm gonna leave it right there. I got keep my words right. But in my
Go
younger
ahead,
years,
Peach.
I feel what Stan's talking about. But they didn't have to transform. It's just it wasn't that in the bedroom. I'm like, this is in my 20s. I'm like, yo, man, don't you was up here dancing and doing you know
Right.
doing the thing on the dance floor. What's going on now? You got to go.
You guys ever seen that movie Boomerang?
Yes.
So
Oh, they pull
instead
the
of me
covers
looking
up.
at, like, Eddie Murphy was looking at the feet, when she would pull the wig off, I was just praying she had hair under there. Like, oh, please have a little hair. And then, so it was like those kind of things. And when the transformation, and I tell guys that all the time, like, hey, be prepared when you date somebody in the club. Don't wake up and then be ready to fight somebody. Because once they take it off, and when she took everything off, it was like it's like she just did, it's like the Wolfman movie, just the transformation. And it was like, the sex was so great. And then when she took everything off, it was a whole different person. It's like, oh, God damn. And I just sat there in the hotel like, well, you go ahead. I'm going to sit here for a minute. You know, but I got over those kind of things. But yeah.
Yeah. When you get older, we learn. You know what I'm saying, Stan? We learn, but man, you got some things in common just listening to your stories. I'm like, yo, I had that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it for me. I answer your question.
Yes, and oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, you know
Well,
what? You
I'll see
never
you
know
guys
what you're
in
gonna
Delaware. I'll
get.
be there. So
You never know what you're gonna get with this panel. So to
Oh,
answer, I'm gonna answer the question myself. So I told y'all I came out in later years, and this might make y'all laugh. And I never realized that. Thank God for best friends, right? I would have these different boyfriends and stuff like that. And even with my husbands, I never really felt satisfied. And I would be like, well, maybe it's too small. Maybe I need a guy with a bigger one. And then I go get a bigger one and the bigger one, and I never would be satisfied. And then my best friend finally said, well, you're not satisfied because maybe that's not what you want. Maybe that's not the appendage you want. Maybe you need to deal with a woman. And so once I met the partner I have now, I don't feel that dissatisfaction. It's like I got everything. Like, oh wow, this is what happened. This is what I've been missing all these years.
So the
This is
Don
what
Don
really
wasn't it.
supposed to happen. So I never felt disgusted. I would just walk away from having sex with heterosexual men like that's it. Is that all that's supposed to happen in this situation? Why why do I still feel the need to have sex? Terrible, right? Terrible.
Yeah.
So the next question.
I'm looking at smack like, yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Smack like that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
y'all already answered the other questions. The
Smack
one
like,
I was gonna
yeah.
ask. Oh Lord, Stan, stop egging her on.
I'm just looking at her. She go, yeah, that's right.
So y'all mostly answered this question about can you be sexually fulfilled by somebody you're not attracted to. I think we can all agree no, we cannot. It's just not gonna work. It's just not
it's not
happening.
gonna happen.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
So I guess we could move on to the social section and just breeze through these little parts. So I'm just gonna ask y'all all at once. Most of the times, again, people that's not in our community, they think that everything we do involves sex. It's just sex, 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 sex. Are any of you guys into polyamory? Are you engaging in it? And if so, are you doing it because you need to get your rocks off? Is just for a sexual thrill, or you just doing it because you need that relationship structure? Anybody that's into polyamory.
What's the
I'm
definition
not
of
I'm
polyamory?
not into it, but everybody that I'm meeting is. And it just I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm just speaking from my experiences. It just seems like people don't want to be attached. People don't want to be attached to anything anymore. They don't want any responsibilities and they don't want anybody to answer to.
Say that.
Exactly.
And that's what polyamory all seems to be about. It's situations that could just be friendships, but they're together, but they can still
Do what they want, different
venture
that.
outside of the relationship.
Well,
Some of them
yeah,
have stipulations. Some of them don't have stipulations.
Right.
Don't ask, don't tell.
right.
I don't see the.
Anybody?
I mean, I'm not speaking against anybody else's likes and dislikes. I'm just speaking from Planet Tim. I don't see the purpose of committing to someone to do that. You can be
Exactly.
friends. You can be roommates and do that stuff.
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 Some
You
people
know. And
You about to say the
I'm not
shit.
closed-minded. What anybody else does in their situation is their business. I'm just speaking from Planet Tim. Because sometimes when you speak from a place that people don't live at, they automatically assume that you're coming for their home, their
Right.
household, how they live. And it's not like that. I'm just telling you, me personally. I don't understand why they're even in relationships. other than Jay want to do what they want to do and have somebody go half on the bills.
Right.
Oh my God. Anybody else got anything to say about polyamory?
I'm gonna go ahead and knock on their doors because I ain't never scared. You can be a hoe and be single.
Oh
If you when
God.
the day you say we committing, your whole
Right.
days is over. And if because other than that, there's no use of committing.
Okay.
So ain't no sense of having a person say this is my permanent, but I got all these hoes on the side, baby. That you first of all, that means now you're bringing too much risk to my household. So I'm gonna go ahead
Okay.
and knock on the door, and I'm gonna kick that bastard wide open. You be a hoe by yourself. Don't be bringing your whoredom to somebody else's life, because that's a problem. Sorry, Tim. I know you was on your planet, but baby, I'm this rocket ship is flowing. Um, the words of Miss Sophia, hell no. Ain't no polyamory going on here. If you can't be with me and only me, then you go be you and be you out the door.
Okay. Anybody else into polyamory?
I don't understand why people even do that and get into a relationship and then want to do that. I mean, why would you be in a relationship with somebody and then want to do, then be with other people? I never understood that. If you're going to be with me, you're going to be with me. And then if we start bringing other parties involved and we do openly like this, I don't understand it unless somebody's benefiting. And like you were saying, unless you're just there because you're getting, living rent free, So I never understood that. I don't. And I never even, whenever I was approached about, hey, let's bring another party in this, that was the end of that. I can't do it.
Can I say something real quick?
Hmm.
Yep.
We are not an environment that is against polyamory or polyamorous relationships. We all just are having opinions that happen to coincide. Again, this is not an environment that is against
It's our
polyamorous
opinion
people
of
or
us. It's
polyamory.
our opinion.
I'm
Yes.
just reiterating for people who may be watching for the first time. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead. Finish
I'm
what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying it's what your life, whatever your lifestyle is. It just, that just happened. It's just not mine. But I don't never knock what people do. Whatever they do with their relationships, that's on them. And that's what they do. I don't live my life based on what you do or she do or how y'all live. Hey, more power to you. You know.
Hey, it's Smack, y'all. Yo, thank you, Luke, for tuning in from the UK. What's up, my brother? Um, you know, for me, that is not something that I'm into. Have I have I ever tried it? Sure, I have. It's just not for me. I don't like sharing. I catch your attitude quick. You know what I mean? Ended the relationship. To be honest, I went out. I tried it for the relationship, and that relationship ended. Because what's the point of us being together when you could come to me and tell me what it is that you may have wanted from another female that I could have just done it? You feel what I'm saying? So that made me feel, and that was in my early years. I'm glad I learned a lot in my early years. And yeah, I mean, I don't, and I'm not against anyone who does. I know people who are in those types of relationships. I don't ask questions because I don't. I'm educated about it, but I don't ask questions.
Right.
Me, who I'm with is who I'm with, and they are my everything. They give me everything that I need to get from one person. I don't need to have somebody else, and that's it.
Nope. I agree.
Kalani, do you have an opinion on it? Nope. All right. So I'll give mine. In my small
Zay has
LGBT life.
I don't
something to
have
Oh,
say.
anything.
Zay does?
Oh,
Okay.
been sitting, go.
I don't have anything.
All right, go ahead.
I have something to say. In my small LGBTQ plus life, which is probably 10 years, I actually was in a polyamorous relationship. I was in it with a male and a female. I thought the structure was great. It worked for that moment in my life. I had the opportunity to have the benefits of dealing with a male, in which I explained that experience to you, and dealing with a female. And I think that's probably what pushed me over the LGBTQ plus cliff, because I got to experience both at the same time and realize that I liked one more than the other. And I'm like, okay, I would probably want your wife, but I think I need to exit before something happens.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm not against anyone that loves that structure. I see the benefits of it. We did everything together. I always had assistance with things. Um, both parties met the need, some type of need that I had. I could talk to both parties if I needed a male perspective, female, it was great. But would I do it now? No, because I don't have the energy and the stamina for that. And it can become draining trying to satisfy two people.
Mm.
So that's my take. But if that's what you do, by all means have fun. But I asked the question because I wanted people to understand that being LGBT is more than just sex.
Yeah.
Being trans attracted is more than just sex.
Yes,
Absolutely.
let them know.
So let's go on to the next
Zay,
question.
Zay,
Zay didn't want to answer it. Zay said,
oh,
forget about it.
Mm.
Zay said, I don't want to answer that.
I
All
think
right.
great answer for the both of them.
You crazy. So the next one is going to be a little touchy. Um, and for those of us that grew up in the 80s, I know you'll probably understand it more than anyone else that's probably born in the 2000 region or whatever. So there is a long history of stigma linking LGBTQ plus and the trans attracted community to sexually transmitted infections, especially the one in the 80s, the AIDS epidemic. We know what it was like to grow up then. I knew what it was like. It was terrible during that time. And it was due to, people thought it was due to suggested being promiscuous. If you don't mind sharing, do you normally engage in, because they think we engage in a lot of unprotected sex socially. They also, because the movies, think we attend bathhouses, orgies, and just, on the weekends we can't wait to get off so we could get to this sex venue to just have all this wild sex unprotected. Is that you? Is that what you do on the weekend? I'm gonna put Tim on the hot seat. Cause seriously, you know how they think about us.
well, baby, that's never been me. That's never been me. If I have sex when I want to have sex, um, I only have unprotected sex when I'm in a consistent situation. You know, with somebody that I'm familiar with, and it's not a whole lot of jumping around. Most of the time, we're exclusive, even though we're not committed. We're just seeing each other at that time. Um, I think I told y'all in the first show. Growing up, I was I was always that friend that was the designated driver because I never had more than a few drinks, and all night long I was on the dance floor while my friends were out in the parking lot and in bathroom stalls, disappearing into the club, closed at 2 a.m. So, I mean, even when I moved to the city and came here, by myself, I have sex according to my sexual urges. I've never been interested in more than one-on-one sex. Um, I had a friend that he was like they would just love you at the parties. So I finally let him talk me into going to one of the sex parties. and it was a beautiful home. Um, you could tell that the person that was hosting a party had money. Everybody was downstairs, fully clothed, having drinks. It was just like a setting where everybody could mingle and get to know each other and feel each other out. And then after about an hour or so of drinking and listening to music, everybody went upstairs and they took their clothes off. There was a huge king size bed, and there were like 6 or 7 ottomans in a circle around this huge room. And I was kind of excited until somebody touched me that I couldn't see, and my erection dropped. And I put my clothes on and I went home. And that's when I realized that groups, and I tried a couple of threesomes. It was something that I could do, but it wasn't something that if I was by myself, I would just wake up and say, "Hey, I want a threesome today." Did that answer your question?
Yes, you did perfectly. Thank you, Tim. I'm going to put Stan on the hot seat. Hey, Stan.
Mm.
Unprotected sex going into these orgies and bathhouses and sex venues and sex parties, tossing it up.
Well, being that I grew up in the '80s, uh, those are things that took place. And to be honest with you, I participated in those things. It was new. I was really young, um, and but doing it maybe once or twice, I had a lot of guilt with it, and I just like knock on wood that nothing ever happened. I never caught anything, but it was just something to experiment with, and it was being done. I was 19 years old. I was working with Fashion Fair Cosmetics at that time. I was doing an internship and went to New York for the first time in my life. And back then, in like 1980, 1981, 19 years old in New York City, you know, you can imagine it was a whole world out there that, and I was battling a whole lot of things because working in the cosmetics business then, uh, it was a lot of gay guys, and then a lot of gay guys was trying to have sex with me, photographers, and they were, trying to make me feel good. Hey, Stan, having sex with a man don't make you gay, you know. And then I was battling those kind of things around me, but then again, when they wasn't around me, and then I could leave the hotel and I could creep around New York. And New York was a beast back then. 19 years old. So, and then my whole thing was the trans community, and they had trans clubs there and all this kind of stuff. And it was, my world got rocked. I'll tell you the truth. But knock on wood, survived it. I grew up but to answer the question, I participated in unprotected sex and things like that. And that was just the environment that it was, and I enjoyed it. Well, I wouldn't do it now. Just things are different with me, but no. But then I just felt it was something to do. But I'm just glad I survived it, and there's no issues and things like that. But and be honest, and I did it. And like I said before, I said this before. Anything in my life right now, if I died today, I would never. I have no. There's no regrets. And every fantasy I ever had, I mean, any fantasy I ever had, I fulfilled it. Because anything I fantasized about, I pursued it and I did it. So if I died today, I wouldn't say, well, what if, or I wish I'd done that, I wish I tried that. I did it. And that's why I think I'm really complete as I am right now. You know, so but and I lived through it. So
Thank you, Stan. Yeah, you made it. you you definitely made it because the 80s, woo, that was
oh
a
yeah.
time.
And that was during the whole fashion industry, the Willie wear, and the all the Andy Warhol stuff. I was around all that, and man, and New York wasn't what it was. Ugh. So,
So I'm gonna put Andre and Zay in the hot seat. Was y'all at the bathhouses and stuff?
Zay may have been prior to me, but for me, no.
No. Okay.
This mm-mm,
Yeah.
not at
Oh,
all. And the sex
Yes, I'm
wise,
missing
if
my
I'm not
podcast
with
right now.
a
It
person,
starts at 8.
then I'm not having sex. And then the people that I'm with, I make sure I get to know health
All
wise
right.
before we decide on any
Well,
unprotected
I'll be
sex.
more.
okay.
hey Pierce, can I clarify something real quick?
Uh-huh.
Okay, with all that said, I never went to a bathhouse, and I purposely didn't go because I was scared of those, and never been to one. Heard things about them, all that. But even though I did enjoy the sex in the '80s, I never went to a bathhouse. And even in Atlanta, right here, you got bathhouses. Uh, I don't even know what they like because to me, that's like going overboard for some reason to me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So yeah, never been to one. So I want to clarify that part
Okay.
and have no
Zay.
Pierce,
desire.
Pierce, was part of the question about gay men being promiscuous?
No, it was just
Okay.
about the assumption of all of us being promiscuous.
Okay.
Okay. So Zay,
Uh,
so you've been out there having unprotected sex, orgies at sex
prior
venues and
prior to
stuff?
my relationship that I'm in now, I consider myself like a free spirited person. I never really we talk about the health and the things that come along with being unprotected, but starting out early in like the regular scene, yeah, it was all protected. But then when it came to me crossing over to being with just like the men on men, I started getting into more and more different activities. So that made me start being unconscious of the fact of like, hey, wrap it up. So it'd be like I'll be having so much fun. So in the moment, it's like, hey, whether we have the protection or don't have the protection, this is what's going to happen without thinking of the repercussions that come into it. And then the more I got into the scene, it was like you want to slow down a little bit. You don't want to just be out there forever doing
Right,
this and the third.
Right.
It was more so it came to a, I guess, level of respect for yourself.
right.
Right. Okay. Kalani, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat.
Well, I was born in the mid '80s, so I didn't grow up in the '80s. I kind of grew up in the '90s. I knew of bathhouses, but I was terrified of them because you hear so many stories about what goes on there. But I actually stumbled across one after I turned 21 and walked in and got the shock of my life and have never walked in one again. Never made that mistake again. But as far as unprotected sex, I think when you first start out, you try to be as careful as you possibly can. Then you kind of get lax. So I've had some moments. I'm not gonna be like I'm such an angel, and I always had it wrapped up and all that good stuff. No, I've had a few slip ups, but yeah, no bathhouse now.
Thank you, Kalani.
Make sure that's clear. No bathhouse.
Thank you. Smack. Can lesbians have safe sex?
Of course, they got all kinds of things out there. Did I use them? Heck no. Um, they got tongue condoms and all that, right? But I wasn't the person. You're not. One of my rules is when I'm out here getting to know somebody, or I'm just, what I'm saying. Um, like I ain't trying to, put my business out there like that. But if I was, and there's not been too many times I've just had casual sex, but you wouldn't get that part of me. I consider this very intimate, and that is for whoever I'm with. And when I say who I'm with, we're in a relationship and we're committed to one another. But I've never used the finger condoms. That wasn't me because I could wash my hands afterward. You know what I mean? And disinfect them. That's something that I just do. But I never been in no bathhouses. I came out in the 80s in the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And you I don't know. I guess the way in which I moved into, the LGBTQIA community, I mean, you had to move around. So silently coming from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, you just didn't have your business out there like that. Like people looked at you crazy if they found out that you were LGBT. It was pretty rough. It wasn't like some of the other panelists who were from the big cities. I was from a small city, and they ain't
Right.
playing. And man, it was almost like being in Africa somewhere where they try to kill you. And I've been called Bati boy before, Bati boy, and I'm like, what? What's that? I
Yeah.
had to go find out what that meant.
We
So
were ostracized. We
yeah,
were literally ostracized.
yeah.
So I have a question for you
Uh,
because I know you're not going to get to that part, but I want you to bring
just-
it out and educate the panel.
what's that?
In the lesbian community, in y'all book bags,
Come on, man. Yeah.
in y'all book bags, y'all have something that y'all have one for, y'all do have a form of protection. It's the dildo. You have
Okay.
a clean one for your mate, and then you have the.
The ugly one. That's the name I gave mine. I
Okay,
don't know
so
about nobody
explain
else.
that.
All right. Oh my gosh. All right. Mom, get off of here, please. All right. So, uh, um, so
I
yeah,
am
we
so
had book
intrigued.
bags back in the day. I know I did. I can't speak for everybody else, but I had one. And then, when you're younger and you're learning, how to please a woman, certain, I didn't know what I wanted at that time. So I was, it was straight women attracted to me, didn't know nothing about it. So you have the ugly stick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call mine, the ugly stick, but with the other word. You know what I'm saying? Remove the ST and put the D. There we go. And that is the one where you just use it on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would clean it every now and then. Excuse me, but I haven't used a dildo in so many years because that's when I started learning about myself. That if I'm going to truly be a lesbian, I don't need that. She should be happy with the tools that I was blessed with, and I ain't had no problem in over 20 some years. I got rid of the ugly thing, you know what I'm saying? Because once you start educating yourself, you can give, with toys, you gotta make sure you clean them. You give people trichinosis and things of that nature. I started educating myself and learning how to please a please a woman with what I have, everything here, and I've been doing just fine. So yeah, we did have that. You pulled that out of me. I mean, you never had to experience that. You just heard the stories, Queen. Never had to use that on my queen, y'all.
Can I ask
Yeah.
a question? And I'm not trying to be funny, but when you
Go
say the
ahead,
tools, what tools?
my hands. It could be my knee.
Okay.
It could be my tongue, my mouth, my ears, whatever. It's all about how you make someone feel. You got to tap into that intimacy part, and when that's all about it. So many people are so in a rush to get to um, that level of being pleased that there's other things in there that come in between. So when that moment comes, you don't have to work so hard because you've done everything else.
Man, I'm learning a whole lot. I swear
Your
I am. This was
hands,
up.
massages.
Yeah.
Find out,
Okay.
what I mean? Massages, using that elbow, getting that mid back,
Mac, you
it's
so
about the
Yeah.
smart.
touch. It's about the touch.
What else is in the bag?
Huh?
The tools,
What else is in
baby.
the bag?
Oh, there's a whole lot in there. Um, as you mm, lube, some people can't, you got to use some lube so they can, be able, and
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
also, um,
Would you like some help?
yeah, you anal beads,
Oh.
Oh,
the what's that thing you bite on, gag ball, all kinds of packed with a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah,
I'm
I
scared
would.
of
Okay.
you, Smack. I'm scared of
oh.
So you
you.
Send
had a you
send
had
me
a
the
fun
list
bag, is
later
what
when
you
we get
carry
off.
around. A fun bag.
I ain't
Yeah,
calling
send
it
me
a
the
fun
Party
list
bag.
Pack
It
later.
was a
2000.
bag. All kinds of things in there. There was this one gel you blow on it and make it warm. You know what I'm saying? Had feathers. I had the paddle. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any of that stuff
Yeah,
today.
just give me an itemized list. Give me an
All right, I'll
itemized
get you
list
an
when we get off this
itemized
here.
list. All right. There's a bunch. If you want to throw something in there, Pete, you can, but that's what it was. I don't have that bag to this day. Yes, I used to be one of those young lesbians in my teenage up into my 20s that would walk around with it on. I was going through deciding if I wanted, I'm trying to find myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that was something me and my homies, my other, you know, male centered friends would do. You know what I mean? And I would always be catching a ride to the city or going somewhere doing something in the city. And the first place I had stopped to it was this toy store because I wanted to get different things. And some people I used to have a collection and I used to have glass dildos, all kinds of stuff where you could put them get them cold. You put them in the freezer, let them get cold. There's all kinds of stuff. I know a lot about toys, but I just don't do that stuff no more. I don't have to. I'm able to please a woman without toys.
Yeah, that's
Thank you,
what's
Smack.
up.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna ask my last question. Then we all gonna ask each other questions or whatever.
You seem like
But
you're a fan right now, Peach. You are.
this is just
You
y'all
stopped
bug me out.
answering questions. Why?
Who? No, I've answered questions.
I got a
No.
feeling a book bag's getting pulled out tonight. The way Pete's sweating over there, yeah, that book bag coming out tonight.
Oh God.
There's
So
no book bag no more, baby. It's the
there's
prized
no book
possession right
bags.
there.
You did forget one thing, and then I'm gonna give the last question. You forgot this.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I did have that. I bought that. I saved up for that. Yeah, the fist. Yeah, yeah. Ever since, ever since I first went into an adult store and I got educated on the suction fist. Back then in the what was that, the 90s, late 90s, early, that thing was expensive, okay? And I worked overtime and I went back and got that bad boy all the way to Philly. Oh yeah, fist. Oh,
All right.
so,
Get off the screen, please. All right. So with everything that we've said here tonight, all the questions, everything we discussed, right? Do you believe that trans attracted and LGBTQ plus relationships is just solely based on sex? Do you believe that? And everything that you discover or heard yourself say or heard somebody on the panel say, do you feel like broadening your dating pool, adding more people into it? Um, I'm gonna let Tim go first, and then once we get through the panel, we all gonna pop on the screen to answer and ask questions.
Um, yes, today in today's climate, uh, it's based on sex and material things. It's based on really frivolous things. It's it's yeah. It's based on everything but the things that matter.
Okay. After everything you heard here, or you could, well, your dating pool is open like mine, so, or would you
It's
consider
open
closing it?
at this.
Closing it?
Have I considered closing it? It's been closed. It's been closed down for quite a few years. It's I have sex when I have an extreme need. Other than that, I take care of myself. I just what's available out here in the dating pool now is annoying. It's I don't find comfort in people out here now, and for me to have other attractions and still feel that way is it just shows you that the lack of the quality that I'm used to, the quality was around me that when I was growing up and when I was coming into the lifestyle, that quality of person, I'm not going to say man, I'm not going to say woman, I'm not going to say anything in between. That quality is not out here anymore. It's really hard to find now.
Wow. Thank you, Tim. Kalani, you're in the hot seat. Do you think LGBTQ plus and trans attractive relationships are solely about sex?
Not solely, but they play a part. I'm sorry, I'm trying to order this fist thing. Anyway, no, I don't think that they're solely dependent upon sex. Although we do have to be sexually engaged, so no. My answer would be no.
Are you considering adding anybody to your dating pool now that you know you've heard everybody's perspectives and heard your own?
I mean, I'm open to a few things. I mean, I'll try anything. Maybe once. So I guess I'm open.
Okay.
To see, because I don't think you really. I wouldn't really say I'm not into it unless I've tried it.
Okay.
So I would have to try it
So
first.
you're
So
gonna
yes.
add some studs in with a fist, the one with the fist in the book bag.
Well, we'll see. Because it's different now because the equipment I have now is different from the equipment I had before. So just trying to figure out and how to navigate through all of that is something in itself. So yeah, I might try it. We'll see.
Okay.
Well, you got recommendations?
Not yet, but I'll find somebody.
Girl, you let me know.
Andre say, you in the hot seat.
Before we answer, Kalani, lovehoney.com got 70% off sale right now, just so you know. Yep, it's called the bedroom drawer sale.
Oh Lord.
I just got the email. My equipment's still the same, but I like to update my toys. You know what I mean? Um, um, I mean, after everything I heard tonight, I mean, I never believed that the lifestyle was just all about sex. I believe that the people in the lifestyle have misconstrued what the lifestyle is about, and so they made everything sexual. I also believe that our younger people, especially in this lifestyle, have not been properly educated by their parents or by older people with wisdom. So, sex is how they answer and they respond because they associate sex with love and think if I give you some, then that means that I'm going to have you. And that's not necessarily the case. As far as opening my dating pool, if that means like opening up to become more like a open relationship or something like that, that would never happen. I believe if I have to add someone to my relationship, then that means I need to subtract somebody from the relationship. Because one plus one equals two, not three. Now adding some tools to the bag. Oh, you know the bag can ever grow. You can go from a purse to an overnight bag, from an overnight bag to a duffel bag, from a duffel bag to a sling bag. You know, throw in some closet hanging space, and you'd be all right. Build a
You might
shelf.
as well get the rolling suitcase, baby.
That's what I'm trying to told you, baby. You might as well just have a shelf. You know what I mean? And that way you can keep everything clean, polished, and displayed.
All right, Zay, what you think?
No, no, I don't even have a answer for that one.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna put stand on because y'all stand you in the hot seat. You gonna open up your dating pool, or we all just about solely about sex, our relationships?
No, I don't think I don't think it's all about sex. Um, for some people it is, and some people it's not. Um, so you know, um, sometimes it is. As far as my dating pool, yeah, it's open, but it ain't about sex, you know, and it's not about that at all. So it's just really right now, uh, knowing somebody, getting to know people. Um, sex. Like I said, as I got older, it doesn't be. It's not a. Like I said, it's been there, done that, had it. Any and every kind of way you can have sex. So there's nothing that anybody could bring to the table to blow my world with it. So it's beyond that. So you know,
Okay.
that's my answer.
Thank you, Stan. What about you, Smack?
It's not all about sex. Okay, let's get that out.
Right.
First, shout out to Luke, somebody over in that used to watch our live streams when we did the live music reviews. Said it's 3:15 a.m. He loves the show. He's thanking us for the stream. Good perspective. He's subscribed to the channel, so that's what's up. And that's across seas, so that lets you know how far this is going. I love it. But nah, it ain't all about sex, okay? Is it a part? Oh yes. But for me in my world, a big part and I tell, and I've told Peirrce this, I got 1 minute I could be happy, 1 minute I could be sad. Like I got some few little mood swings, but I've learned how they're not as bad as they used to be because I started loving myself. You feel me? I've been hurt a lot and I never dealt some of the trauma I've dealt with, but not all of it. When I say hurt, it's not all of it's from childhood, but majority of it is in relationships where women have just done me wrong, and I just want to put it out there. And y'all in the heterosexual world, y'all get that too. Do I want to add to what I got? No, because what's mine is mine, and you can't have it. And I don't want to share with nobody, or do I want to add to it? You know what I mean? I'm crazy like that, but that's what I want to say.
All right. Thank you. So everybody done answer. I'm about to put us all on the screen. Do y'all have any questions for
Oh, you didn't
each
answer, man.
other?
You
Oh,
didn't
me?
answer. Yeah.
I well, basically, I don't think our relationships are about sex only. I think it's whatever we need at the moment. The same way heterosexual people are whatever they need at the moment. I,
Right.
we have families. We're about love. We have steady monogamous relationships. Some of us is into polyamory. No different than heterosexual people and their structure. So we're the same. You know, we
Yep.
want what we want. We like what we like. So, do you guys have questions for each other? Because y'all said a lot tonight.
I want to say, like, real talk, as we're on here getting to know one another, the only person that I know is Tim because We grew up in the same area, Eastern Shore, Maryland, and I'm getting to learn Tim a little bit more. But do want to say, Tim, I know you said that you haven't been with someone in a while. I've been in that place before. Do you think maybe you're looking in the wrong? I'm not saying that you're looking, because maybe you got to go into a different place to meet that person instead of the same place. Because I truly believe that there's someone out there for everybody. You know what I mean? I've been where you are, and that's why I had one that could take care of this, one that could, take care of this feeling, that feeling. And you get tired of that after a while. That was in my younger years. And so I just want to know, have you looked like tried something different that's really not Tim? You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what I did.
Vonda, the last relationship that I was in was Darnell. When you were living in Dover.
Mm-hmm.
That's been 31 years. So it's like this. I've dated different ethnicities. I've dated from different backgrounds. I've dated different financial statuses, different upbringings, different cities. All I can say is, after 31 years in Philadelphia, I know my person's not here. I don't walk around with blinders on, but no, I'm not looking, and I haven't been looking for a long time. I'm definitely tired of being by myself, but I just don't like what I see out here. And with me being a performer and an entertainer, I travel a lot from city to city. And most of the people that I'm taking more of a liking to are from down south. And even though I've been in Philadelphia for 31 years, like how we were raised back home and the things that were familiar to me from then, those are still the things that I crave, and I can't find them in the city, Vonda. And that's a large part of the reason why I've been by myself for so long, because my wants and needs are very basic, and people be wanting to add me into scenes and situations that are not comfortable to me and don't feel like love to me. I just want something really simple and basic. I'm not asking for, I don't have a whole crazy list of demands. I'm a hardworking person. I always have a job. I always have a roof over my head. I always have money in my pocket, and I'm never asking for anything. I'm an entrepreneur on top of working. I fend for myself. Who in their right mind wouldn't want a man bringing that to the table? But I can't find people because people want to have me and still be able to do what they doing out in the streets. And that's not going down, because I'm not that type of fucking dude. I will break your goddamn neck.
Oh. Ooh.
When my emotions are involved, I'm a totally different type of dude. I'm not abusive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not abusive, but you're not gonna fucking play in my face at all.
Gotcha.
Just as much as I'm a lover, I'm a very stern person. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And people do not want that these days. People say they want a good, stern man, but they really fucking don't, because we are a brick wall, and when they run into us and they can't get their way, it's a problem. And see, my door is always open, but it only swings one way. I will love you. I will fend for you. I will fight for you. I will do anything for you that I need to do, as long as you respect me and us. But when it gets to the point that you can't respect me and us, and everything you need is outside of us, then you need to be outside.
I got you. I think maybe, I was just saying, maybe you got, I'm just saying, come hang out with me. You might find them at the basketball court with me. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you know what? You know what, Vonda? I'm completely with that.
You never know.
I'm completely with that, because quiet is kept. That's where I meet a lot of people anyway. So I'm definitely down with it.
All right. Thank
I
you.
have a question for Kalani.
I
In
mean,
the
I could take a
world,
call too. I mean,
oh Lord.
take me some.
Now, the thing is, we live in a very transphobic world. I often wonder, how is it for my trans sisters when it comes to dating, and where do you actually find your partners? How do you find spaces that is comfortable and safe? I've always wondered.
Um, so it's crazy that you're asking this because that's my question. Like seriously, because when it comes to trans, anything trans, most people think automatically pre-op. So there are spaces for pre-op trans women to find men, but when you think post-op, you automatically think that they're just getting with heterosexual men, but sometimes it's not that easy. So there are apps and things, and most of the time, I can say, being on both sides of the spectrum, that most of the time, I had been with a dude, I had met a dude, I didn't go looking for him.
Okay.
They seem to always seek us out. So
Okay.
I can't say that I've ever like went on a search like I'm looking for. I'm gonna go find me a man. I'm gonna go, club, and I'm coming home with somebody. It was never like that. They always seem to find us one way or the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chill.
Stan,
Go ahead.
where do you meet your women?
Stan
Like,
would know.
yeah, where do you go?
Why would you say that,
Because
Kalani? I
you
mean,
would
I would
know.
know.
You on the other side of it, so you probably know where to find them.
I love it. Stan, Smack
Stan.
wanna know. Tell me, bro.
Stan,
Where do I find them?
Yeah.
Actually, um, I don't go out and seek them. Kind of people kind of seek me as well, but um, I do a lot with the trans community with the cosmetics. Um, and I started off with trans entertainment, so I kind of in that circle um, of things. But I don't go to clubs um, anymore. Like I used to go to like clubs and stuff. So I kind of just meet people and I'm out just doing business, networking, and things like that. Because I'm not out there. I'm not seeking anything, and I'm not searching for nothing. But I do meet them like that. I don't belong to any. I think they call it grinder and all those things. I don't do that. I mean, I just don't. It was a time I did, years
Oh yeah, I
ago.
know about Grinder now. I had to think about it. Yeah, I heard about
There was another thing
Oh
called
my
BGC
God.
back then, and Kalani, you know about that, right?
I might.
BGC. So that was always a hookup spot, but that was like years and years. But no,
That
not
was
like
years and
now. I
years
don't.
Well,
ago.
the next time you in Philly, you pick up my little brother Tim, and you let when you in Philly doing the makeup stuff, you pick up Tim or let Tim know where you at. And if you go to New York, you
Well,
gotta come past Philly. So I ain't trying to hear that. Or
I have you believe it or not, I have been through Philly so long, so much that there was a street I used to go on, Broad Street, I think it was.
Oh,
Uh,
you was hanging out
13th
on
Street,
Broad
so
Street.
13th Street.
Broad Street, uh,
13th Street, Tim
and
said.
then I was, yeah. I mean, I got
Uh,
friends in Philly right now. Matter of fact, during those days that in the '80s when I was in New York, I used to come down to Philly all the time.
You grinning from ear to ear,
You
Stan.
know,
He sure
you know the Philly.
Sure.
They had a
So
good time in Philly.
hey, let me
Oh
ask y'all
yeah, you
something.
got
Since
some
y'all talking about
memories
Philly,
in
y'all ever
Philly.
heard of somebody named Dee Dee Sharp in Philly?
You said what?
He got some memories
Dee
in
Dee
Philly.
Sharp. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You
I
said
got a lot of memories of Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Dee Dee Sharp.
Yeah. Dee Dee Sharp. I was there. I was in. A matter of fact, I was there at the time Teddy Pendergrass had that accident
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Teddy
when he was.
Pendergrass.
That's way
Yeah, he
back
had an
in the
accident. He was
day.
a transsexual that night.
Mm.
Mm.
And
I can give
I
y'all some history.
he made the
the
one.
the the young lady that was in the young trans woman that was in the car with him.
Right, I was there that when it happened. Right, yeah.
Oh, that was
She
in there with Teddy.
I was dating um Kenny Gamble. I was dating his wife, Dee Dee Sharp, his
He was
ex-wife.
having love TKO.
Yeah, well, he did. Yeah. So yeah, there's some history
Okay.
with that. So I got friends in
Okay,
Philly.
yeah, man. Okay, we got somebody big up on this joint. Because I remember all of that.
Yeah, I was there.
That
One of my
Oh, that
family
is
members called and said, "Did you
hilarious.
hear about Teddy?" I was like, "Yo,
oh Lord.
Right
That
near
is
the air. He
hilarious.
was right near the airport when they had that. I was there because Dee Dee
right on
Sharp, Kenny
95."
Gamble had Philly International Records, and
Yep.
yep, and so I was dating Kenny Gamble's ex-wife, Dee Dee Sharp, and I was 19. She was like 38, and when he crashed the car, because he was the only artist holding that label together.
Oh.
Harold Melvin and all them were kind of gone. And so Teddy was holding that label together. And when he crashed, I remember them going to a panic and all that. And yeah, and he was with the trans woman there. So yeah, but I got history with that.
Yeah, I see you smiling hard. I love
Still
that.
grinning.
Yeah.
Talk more on that. You know what? I have another question, and it's for Andre and Zay. I know Andre is a pastor. How does that do you have difficulties keeping the congregation um being that you are LGBTQ plus?
And no, in my fellowship, as the chief apostle, I established a rule that what people do behind their closed doors is their business. And so in my fellowship, if you bash anybody, I sit you down.
Okay.
Pretty
You
much.
know,
Wow.
God didn't call us to bash; He called us to draw. And you can only draw
But
with, you can't draw by bashing.
I got a question. What if they a member of the congregation, but they doing everything but living by the word of God when they out in the streets, out in the open, where people can see them.
Hmm.
But they're a visible part of the congregation, meaning they're
So,
up on the poop. They're behind the microphone every week.
They're
hmm
the face.
so one thing about my leaders is we hold our leaders to a high accountability. Um, is and this is Delaware. Ain't nothing unseen.
Yep.
For
Let's just
sure.
let's just make that point clear. Ain't nothing unseen. Ain't nothing unseen in the tri-states or Delmarva Peninsula. They know you. They know what you do. They know how you do. And the church is talking before the streets are.
Right.
So we do hold our leaders accountable because there is a walk. There is a standard you have to have. That's Bible. Be ye holy because I am holy. That wasn't a question. That was a command.
Right.
But we also teach the unadulterated word of God so that our leaders understand that what King James said was not what God said. And so we teach the Bible unadulterated and non-sugar coated, because if you can't swallow meat, there's no use of you preaching or leading a congregation. But as for the pastors who do things behind closed doors and then talk about people in the pulpit that they doing things behind closed doors with, I'll shut your whole church down. Because one thing for certain, and three for sure, I ain't never been scared to demote, and I ain't never been scared to defrock.
I know that's right.
Is it an
So,
in an affirming
No,
ministry?
Our ministry is a ministry, is a Bible-based ministry. We don't have an affirming ministry. We have a ministry built on love because the Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So
Mm-hmm.
if I don't love you, I can't be your brother or your sister, but I can't love you and talk about you behind your back.
Got it.
Right.
So
Love.
So
everybody is welcome to come to service, and
That's
everybody is
awesome.
welcome to join, and everybody is welcome to be a part of the growth of the ministry. We're a small congregation right now. I just reopened because I had to get my health together. So I just technically reopened last year. And Kalani knows at one point I said, excuse my language, to hell with ministry,
You did.
because I got tired. I got tired of folk. And I told, and I had a whole argument with God. I didn't say yes to sit and argue with a bunch of niggas. Refuse. But I picked myself up. I got myself together, and then I got back into ministry. But this time I did it with a different mindset.
Right.
so
Yep.
I do have another question, and this is probably going to be funny because I watch timelines and I watch videos. Is Zay the first man?
I don't believe in first women. Like I don't. Now let me. I don't believe in first
Oh
ladies.
God.
Now I will say this: they respect him as my spouse, even though we're not married. When he walks into the house, he gets the same respect that my mother would get, as our shepherd mother. He gets the same respect that any of my family members would get.
That's right, Zach.
They will not. They will not cross that line.
Okay.
Because my leaders are taught and my members are taught to be respect and give respect to where respect is due. So if he decides to sit in the front row, he can sit in the front row. But if he decides to sit in the back, they'll still love him as if he was in the front row, and they'll still give him the honor where it's due. But yeah, I don't believe in titles. If it's not in the Bible, we don't call you that.
The
Okay.
first G Peaches.
First gentleman.
The first gentleman.
I'm the
That's
first.
Yeah.
that.
Well, I just want to say, like, I've lived in Dover for a long time, and I just got back into church, and I have a church home here in Dover. And I love the fact that they accept me. I love how they spread the word of God. I love how my bishop, the way she preaches. And I feel like the churches here in Dover that have hurt me, but always reaching for wanting me to do something for them. It's hard for me to do that when you don't accept me fully. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's right.
Right.
So I ask a lot of questions when I meet, you know, faith leaders
Leaders.
in the work that I do,
Mhm.
because I have to make sure that we on one accord. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I feel like this is for some of the faith leaders. Like, everybody is not. They said their church is open to everyone, but I don't feel like it is.
It's not.
Yeah. It's
You
not.
know,
It's
It's not.
definitely not. We have sat down so many leaders because of their lack of knowledge. And the word of God says our people perish because of it. And one thing I can't have is someone smelling like death leading a congregation.
Ain't that something?
mm, 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 mm.
So
I'm
we're
glad,
very,
I'm glad you shared that, Andre, because there are a lot of people in our community who are hurt from faith leaders by the words that they've said, and it's nice to know that you have that. And if you could send me your information, I would love to share that with some of my friends up in Newcastle.
I got you.
All right, I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
So anybody else have any more questions before we wrap it up? Because we almost in 3 hours and we could
I
be here
mean,
forever.
yeah, this is a good conversation, Peach. But I
It's
ask you what I gotta ask you. I'm on vacation all week, but I ask you what I gotta ask you after we get off of here.
Oh Lord. Anybody else got any questions?
Okay. Yeah.
Any questions? Anybody?
Stand the man. That's
Yeah.
it. I got a statement. Stan is the man, man. I feel like me and the man, we relate
He's
on a whole lot
he's
of
still
things. And
grinning about
whoever figured
Philly.
that? Who would ever known? Like you just wouldn't think that, but we see things almost the same on some stuff. And I love it.
Yeah.
He is still grinning about Philly.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord.
Life is good.
Well, look, y'all. Do you know what? This is in black. We about to be the hottest panel discussion. Y'all gonna get to know us, and what's crazy is we're all in different cities. And
Absolutely.
like I said, only person I know
I
is
don't
everybody
know.
else. I'm
We're
just
not all in different cities, son.
yeah, we are.
Most of us are in Delaware.
I didn't say
Hey,
states. I said cities.
Oh no.
thank you, Smack. I'm
I
with
Where,
you.
didn't.
I
I
where's
follow.
everybody
I
didn't say
from?
follow.
states, and I said cities. And even though
Oh
Delaware
yeah,
is
I'm
small,
thinking states.
you think it's states, baby. We in different cities, and we
We're just
got
all in the tri-state area.
Not
yeah.
everybody.
Well, no,
Oh, except for
Stan
Stan.
down there in
Stan's
Atlanta.
in Georgia.
Yeah, baby.
I'm in
Yeah,
Atlanta, but
Hi, Lana. How you doing?
good. When I was in Delaware, I didn't like when I go to the store. They charge me for bags.
Yeah,
I couldn't
they
believe that.
charge.
Like I
They took
bought
the
something
bags away.
and guy asked
Oh
me, "Do you want a
God.
bag?" Like, well, yeah.
And
And then he
What is
charging
35.
me for it. Like,
that?
what?
They're going to stop giving us straws. Or
yeah.
even bags
Man.
for them.
And anything foam and plasticware, they trying to pass
Yeah.
the load on that. But Stan, stay tuned because it's coming to your state soon.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
lied to him. I lied to
I
him.
thought it
Yeah.
was already there.
in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, we
you
they
know,
they give you some
I've done a
cardboard.
couple things with Peirrce in
Hmm.
Delaware. We come down and done some things with a couple events there. You know,
yeah,
so yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, I like it. I like Delaware.
Do you
You
really?
know, yeah, I like it there.
What you
And
like about Delaware?
Close to Philly.
yeah, and hey, and you ain't that far from New York either.
Ain't no
But
tax.
yeah,
You can find a whole lot of them sisters in town, baby.
I like Philly. Yeah, I do.
No
You know, I got a couple of
shade,
good
Kalani,
friends in
but
Philly.
find the sisters definitely in town. That's what he like, baby.
Hey,
yes.
I mean,
And
that's where they at.
big
yeah,
ups
so
to
If that's what you
uh,
into, I mean.
all right now. I love
So,
it. She throwing the hair and everything. I'm
I
loving
know
it.
If
oh
she's
that's what
just
you
swinging her
Lord.
into,
hair like.
if that's what you're
And
into.
Stan, you
Just
just
saying,
laughing.
you ain't lying. You
Hey,
got the Kool-Aid smile.
He
that's my
do
weakness when
dimples
they
and
when she do stuff like that.
everything.
Oh Lord.
Watch it. You better
Oh
watch
Lord.
Oh,
We're
it.
gonna be
Uh-oh.
making
going
the
to an
hairs on
in
his skin
black
stand
wedding
up,
or
baby.
something.
Kalani, she know the deal. You know, she know like swinging her hair like that.
What I know, Stan.
You gonna have
Just
that
what you
Kool-Aid
just
smile go,
did.
oh yeah.
Look at that.
Uh,
I
Happy baby.
I see Stan get ready to make a trip to Delaware soon.
Oh
like
very
real
goodness.
good
soon.
panel.
That is too
Peach.
funny.
What we
There you
having a
go,
meet and greet?
Kalani. Stop
Gotta
doing that.
give you, yeah, I gotta
Oh
give
my
you your
God.
flowers, Peach. Very
Uh,
good podcast. This is a
Yes. I
very
love it,
decent
Peach. You put
stream
something
and
wonderful
student.
together.
I gotta give you that.
all right.
You gotta
Yo,
give you that.
applause to
Give it to Peach,
y'all.
y'all.
This is your idea. This is dope. We need this.
So what did y'all think about the show tonight?
It was
I'm
Yeah,
interesting.
good.
you had me thinking and
I
stuck.
enjoyed
Did
it.
you
I
did
Yeah,
y'all
always enjoy
learn
the show.
anything about each other? I know
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
y'all learned a lot about the book
Yeah,
bag
I
and the
learned
dirty
I
I,
learned a
I
laundry.
learned
lot.
that some of y'all some freaks.
Tim.
Tim is the freak.
And like I said,
Tim and
Tim and I
Stan.
grew up together. And so Tim is sharing some things that I didn't know about him. And you know how you close with somebody, you think you know everything about him. And I'm like, okay,
right.
okay.
You know what? I learned tonight through Andre and Zay that gay men or bisexual men use toys. I never thought in my head that y'all would
Mm.
use them. I'm like, why? Y'all have a toy in y'all pants. Why are you using it? I never thought it.
Well, I mean, different toys do different things. I mean, you got some that can like snatch your soul, and you got some that can make your soul
Oh Lord.
reappear. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all in what you trying to
Oh,
do.
okay.
Itemized list. Itemized list.
I was never. I ain't gonna say I was never not into toys, but I'm not gonna say I was into toys. But in being where I'm at now in my life, sexually and non-sexually, I realized that those things can add a little bit extra spice, more so to on top of what they're already doing for you. Those are just like a little. That's like a snack to what's already being put there.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
all right. That's
Yeah.
It's not just always about maybe. It's not always about you got the toy because they wasn't feeling something. They can do everything sexually to make you feel good.
Okay.
y'all gonna have smack.
Into
Bring
a
the
whole different.
bag back out.
Oh Lord.
Uh,
You know what? During the questions, I noticed Kalani's eyes was like, I'm like, did she is she learning something about studs and lesbians and
I
that
learned a
she didn't
lot.
know?
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely know
I
next time
like
to
him.
go to the bookstore, things that I need to pick up for company.
I mean, Kalani, if you trying to, I got a female that like film females that's looking.
She wants a stud. She likes masculine energy. So that person has to have
that
masculine.
She
you wanna
does
know what's
have,
so
she has
funny?
masculine energy. That's why she don't want a masculine chick.
You know why that conversation was interesting to me, Peach?
Why, Jay?
Because I got two kids, right? But my first child's mother is feminine, but my son's mother is a stud.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Zay.
It's that masculine with feminine energy
Right,
mix.
right.
Zay
It's
out here
something
making
about
babies.
that. I don't know what it is about that for
I
me.
said
Huh?
Zay out here making babies.
I got a 14-year-old and a 7-year-old.
14. You old,
Oh,
Zay.
Yeah.
okay.
Now I'm still 25.
Oh
In his head.
no.
Oh, you know
Now
what? Are you a Cancer, Zay?
No.
I'm a
I'm
Oh,
a
you're a
Cancer.
can. Okay, got it. Okay,
The
because
sarcasm. You can't
yeah,
tell the
yeah,
sarcasm.
yes. And only reason I asked because she always says she's 40 every year for a while now, and people believe that.
I've been saying 35. I've been saying 25 for the
She's
longest.
Now I'm
been saying
40.
40 for the longest.
I'm 40, but my neck look 50.
Yo, we don't even see that.
Oh
And
God.
I'm that
Yo, she
young.
wild. Okay, any Leos on here? That's what I want to know. Am I the only Leo?
I'm lying Leos. Lord.
Oh, who said Lord Jesus?
You are August Leo?
Yes, she's the
Mm,
Cancer
Okay.
the
Leo.
worst.
I'm at the end of the month.
Cancer
Yeah.
spectrum.
I start fading
Bless,
into that little.
What
bless
you
you.
like, August 30th?
Bless you. No, she like July 22nd,
No,
23rd.
little close 18th, but I'm starting to
Oh, the
glide
same day as
to
my mom.
starting to
Vonda,
glide to it.
You August 4th, August 5th.
You got it, fourth baby.
August 4th.
Oh, that's my sister's
That's the same day
birthday.
as my
Me
godmom.
and Obama, we got the same birthday.
And Stan is a Gemini.
no, I'm a Virgo.
Mm,
I was about to
uh-uh.
say that. A
Word.
Virgo.
August
September?
31st.
That's my
Kalani,
Okay.
ex-husband birthday, August
August
31st.
31st.
you're not gonna tell
Virgo.
me, Kalani, what's your zodiac?
I'm an
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
I figured that
You are
okay.
one
August.
out.
You a January
Are you?
Aquarius?
Oh, okay. That's why we vibe because my brother and my dad are Aquarius.
I'm an
So
Aquarius.
what? Tim is a Leo.
Why she
Tim,
keeps swinging
what are
that
you? You
24?
you
Tim a
not
Sagittarius?
Libra.
Libra.
I'm,
He's a Libra.
I'm a
Yeah, he's
Libra.
a Libra.
Yeah.
Tim
I
is a Leo.
figured that.
Okay, same as Frankie Biff.
Yep.
We got all types of
Zodiac.
zodiac
Yeah.
signs on here.
When's the Donna come back? I miss Donna.
Donna will be back
Me too. I thought
next
she was
week for
tonight.
she will
Okay.
be back next week. She's still traveling another cancer because we're great and we're wonderful and we have great
Great and
ideas.
Aren't
wonderful.
we though? We make the world
She'll
shine.
Yes, y'all do. I
Beach, how
ain't
about
even gonna
when are we
lie.
thinking about doing a open panel night?
A open panel, we can.
Yeah, where we have an open
Hmm.
panel night and we get to ask all these questions. We're gonna have questions for
How
them.
about next week we'll have an open panel night since
Uh-oh.
and everybody come with questions. How about
I'm
two
down.
questions?
That's the day before my birthday.
Two
Let's
questions
go.
a
Yep,
person.
two
Huh?
questions a person.
I
Okay,
have a
two
question
questions
about
per person.
Philly.
Uh-huh.
Kalani
Mm.
said
I'm
she got a
ready.
question about
What
Philly.
is
I'm
what is
definitely
the
with it.
subject matter? Just random questions
Random.
or
Whatever
Random.
your
okay.
top two questions are about the LGBTQ community that you've been curious about.
Oh,
Philly.
okay.
Okay.
I like that. I'll do
It's
that.
so much stuff I'm curious about all the time.
But you can only come with two
Honey.
questions. Okay.
Our
Wow.
community is so diverse. It's
You
so
say
much I
Kalani
want to
Broad Street?
know.
Mhm.
I got
I want
questions.
Stan to elaborate on Philly.
All right now.
Like
All
this
right,
past
well, we
weekend, I
got
would have tried
one
to get
minute.
down there, but I didn't get the opportunity. But I definitely was gonna try to get down there. You
We'll
We
know,
have
got
another round.
one
It's
minute.
okay, Stan. Maybe we'll
Oh,
because
have
I
a
want
run.
to get.
Well,
I actually wanted to get down to the brunch.
I did too.
Yeah.
You know, I really wanted to get down to the
I did
brunch,
too.
but
y'all
How
I
was
missed
it?
it just was
some
conflicting.
tea. It was
How
Yeah.
was how was the brunch? Was it good?
it was cool and it was a lot of tea and
Oh.
some stuff and some stuff.
Oh. Dude,
Mm.
we recorded?
Sound like we got to
No,
get off this to talk about
Yeah,
it.
but
we go
as you know, when you are
amazing.
cancer, people just tell you random things.
Random
Right.
things. Yes.
Mhm.
Brunch was amazing. It was a lot of tea being served.
I love
Yeah,
Mhm.
it.
You said
a
that
lot of
very you said that
political
very
things.
British there, Smack.
Yes,
Sound like it's a little shade going with
It
that
was a
tea.
lot of
yes,
tea
but I
being
was not
served.
there. I was not there. It was my family barbecue, but the tea was being shared.
Served.
It was
It
being
was.
served. All right.
I want to be the server next time.
Well, it's 11 o'clock, y'all, and we gotta
Oh
Is
wrap
wow,
this
it?
up.
Oh, I
Yes.
Oh
didn't
wow,
I didn't even know.
y'all did it tonight.
Yeah. So let me wrap this up. So that was in black. As usual, everything is fabulous. We talk about everything in black. We talked about sex, a taboo topic, right? Oh my God. So we hope y'all learned something tonight. Please leave comments, like, and share in black. Join us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And for our open panel, right? Two questions per person. Oh
All
my
right,
God, y'all. Y'all don't want to miss it. Y'all have a good night. Love all y'all. Thank y'all for joining us.
all right, y'all. Peace
see.
out.
good night.